てしなく広がる空に失ったものを嘆く声迫られる選択の日々正しい道の方へ間違ってなかったと証明しよう行き詰まって邪魔されても席を読むさこの頭で全て手に入れる高く高く飛べどこまでも行こう不可能と思い込んでたものがなぜか小さく感じた見てる景色がそう先になったから叶うまで近い果てしなく広がる空に失ったものを嘆く声迫られる選択の日々正しい道の方へ間違ってなかったと証明しよう行き詰まって邪魔されても席を読むさこの頭 てしなく広がる空に失ったものを嘆く声、迫られる選択の日々、正しい道の方へ間違ってなかったと証明しよう。いつまで邪魔されても先を読むさ、この頭で全て手に入れる。高く高く飛べ、どこまでも行こう。不可能と思い込んでたものが、なぜか小さく感じた見てる景色がそう先になったから叶うまで近い。果てしなく広がる空に失ったものを嘆く声、迫られる選択の日々、正しい道の方へ間違ってなかったと証明しよう。いつまで邪魔されても先を読むさ、この頭で全て手に入れる。高く高く飛べ、どこまでも行こう。不可能
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the second anniversary stream of...
We made it.
We made it. We made it! Woo! Yeah, welcome, guys. This is the second anniversary. What a year it has been. I know the first year has been really crazy, and the things we have done since year one and until now.
It's only been going up.
It's always been crazy. So my name is Shinja. I'll be one of your hosts today. We're going to be kind of flipping around today. And joining me, you know what? You being here is actually very rare.
I don't think was it like 2 years ago? I think it was before launch that I was here. No, we did it at Toss. We did it in a store.
The last time both of us has been on a video, not even a stream. It's been on video. It's been a very long time. You're a very hard man to catch. You're always traveling. But we have Roger here today for one of our segments. But if we want to, we're going to go ahead and look at what we're going to do today. We have quite a bit of exciting things. If we want to do the PowerPoint. What? Maybe? Yeah. All right. Next slide. All right, so this is the schedule that we have today. We're going to do a year in review with Roger. And then if you don't know who Roger is, we'll do a quick introduction in a second here. After that, we're going to do a quick community segment, I want to say, with trivia. We'll have some lore, gameplay, like stats from Omnidex and those kind of stuff, with some invited content creators. That will be hosted by Ken as well as Belle.
Keep in mind, there will be some cool giveaways, so make sure you attend. People in chat and not in chat yet. After that, we're going to have some exciting Mercurial Heart Altar reveals, spoilers, with Mr. Silidar and... himself.
Yeah, and I'll be here, actually, so I'm going to rotate back in. Afterwards, we're going to do a kind of like a world's announcement, right? So anything that...
haven't really gone through yet. There's still maybe question marks about specifically what is this prize card gonna be, what else am I gonna get,
what are we doing?
I see, yeah.
For the not, what is it, 48 players technically, because Gauntlet and then the world invited players. If you're not those group of players, like what am I doing? What are we doing, right? Yeah. You bought your $500 ticket or whatever. What am I gonna do?
This is an open worlds event for attendees, both players and attendees. So what am I gonna get on my value for attending in Anaheim?
Exactly, and then some extra stuff.
Yeah.
you gotta tune in for that. And then as well, at the end, per tradition, we will have a Q&A. So we'll have all three devs. We have Roger, Bell, and Silidar here. So they'll just kind of hop on, and it's kind of at the end. So we'll just kind of chill with questions, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sounds good.
Cool. Awesome. So let's go ahead and do the very first. It's going to be a year in review. But first, for anyone who doesn't know who you are, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Roger Chen. I'm the Director of Operations here at Weaves of the Shore. What that entails is I manage everything that's not the card game.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah.
So the manufacturing, the shipping, logistics, accounting, revenue, finances, and a bunch of more fun stuff. So, always glad to be back on stream. Hello, everyone, both new faces and old faces. Welcome to the 2-year anniversary stream.
Woo!
And then we'll do a quick cut. So... 大家好，就是我是我们老板，这个老板是在 Weaves of the Shore， 所以参加你们早上参加我们的2周年纪念的节目啊，谢谢你们。
Yeah, I don't speak Chinese, so I don't know what you said. But, speaking of Chinese, like we had an amazing SEA growth since year one, like insane. Not just in Taiwan, but we just had a set in Malaysia, a set in Kuala Lumpur. It is our biggest event
to date. 437 players
so far, and we have crazier events lined up in the future. That's already slated to beat that, which is insane to me. Where last year our max, what was our peak last? It was like 300.
I mean, last year we only had 3 ascents. If you think about it, it was just Ontario, Auckland, or Houston, Auckland, and Ontario. So we peaked
that's
under 200.
Wait, is that? Yeah, actually. Well,
we'll talk about it a little bit more. But yeah, especially looking forward, we'll just give a big shout out to Japan, right? Ohayou gozaimashita.
Yeah, jeez.
皆さんようこそ Grand Archive の2周年記念配信です。
Roger is so talented. This guy is so talented.
Good fan base.
Hey, keynote in Japanese?
Oh,
yeah, hey, Roger, you got this, man.
6 months. I got this.
All right. Well, there is a lot of things that we can look forward to. But let's go ahead and talk about what we did so far.
Yeah. So, well, we got a couple reminders. So, of course, the reminder segment. So let's click through and see what's upcoming next. So just a big shout out. Over the next weekend will be OC Nationals in Auckland, May 10th to 11th. Remember, pre-registration is open. If you want the cool backpack with Lubu featured on it, make sure you do pre-register and bring out your invite cards for redemption. Next event after will be NA Nationals in St. Louis. This is May 24th to 25th. The big and final chance to qualify.
Basically,
for
everyone's last chance, almost.
Pretty much so. So remember, pre-register and come out as well. And then finally, we'll wrap it up with Worlds itself in Anaheim, California. This will be June 27th to 29th. The Worlds event will be 32 players. But of course, if you don't qualify, there will be Ascent Worlds itself, team standard format, June 28th to 29th itself, and it will be the Day Zero celebration. So remember, tickets are on sale now, but they may not be soon, so keep a watch out.
Yeah, at the trajectory that we are going at for events, there's a good possibility that we are now going to start selling out, which hasn't been before.
Yeah,
where there's like, oh, it doesn't matter. You can buy it like a week before, you're good. But now it's like, oh, it's almost selling out like the week we launch it, which is insane to me.
All right, and then the final one, Ascent Boston. Actually, there's two more. Ascent Boston, August 23rd to 24th. If you haven't had enough of Grand Archive this year, right after Worlds, we're running into another season, of course, of more beautiful Ascents around the world. And then finally, announced at Kale, Ascent Taipei again, September 13th to the 14th, 2025 this year. Tickets will be on sale tomorrow, May 2nd, or the day after.
Depending on where you are.
Yeah, so the time zone below. So make sure to keep an eye out for those. Right. The big one. Ascent Akihabara, November 22nd to 23rd. Of course, your tickets are now sold out. Keep an eye out if any tickets go back on sale. But remember, in October, 100 additional tickets will be released, mainly for the Japanese audience.
Yeah, this is the big one. Now, we talked about Ascent Kuala Lumpur being huge. This is slated to be huge. Like, this is insane. So, if you have a ticket, congrats. I'm so excited to see you guys there. And if you don't, again, we have the 100 additional tickets. So hopefully we can see you in Japan.
Yeah, now let's look back at year 2 in review. So, in this last year, what events have we hosted? We've already hosted our first World Championships. This year we are planning 4 nationals. And we had 11 ascents. Think about that. Year one was
out of the 12 months in a year.
Year 1 was just 3 ascents, and we said, you know what, doubling isn't enough. Tripling isn't enough. I guess we'll just host 11, right? But there's just been so much demand from the community. Like, we've hosted so many wonderful events in areas we just haven't gone to before, like Utrecht, Kuala Lumpur. And I think there's just been such a wonderful community building up in each area that we want to be able to bring the celebration of Grand Archive to everywhere in the world. And so, we'll talk about this more later on, but the future for our event schedule is very exciting. And so we're very happy, and every event is building on each other. So we want to make sure we can deliver the best event experience possible for you guys.
Yeah, I do know that, as per work, I do go to different TCG events just for research and trying to make sure, what's the best thing I can take away from these events? And I do want to say, I'm going to brag a little bit, but I feel like we do our events pretty well.
Yeah, the events team has been wonderful for the events I've been able to attend. And for the ones I haven't, the streams have always been a great experience. Seeing the casters improve, seeing both the broadcast and the content that's being able to produce at events. And luckily, will be a lot more post-event content as well coming out of it as well.
Yeah, I know, a lot of everything's progressing, right? So you have the game, obviously, your community's growing, the gameplay. We have now, 6 sets, 5 sets?
Yeah.
Now?
6 sets out currently.
Yeah, with DTR coming at 7, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're continuously progressing, but also production. I'm handling most of the streams now, but I meme about it, but where we started with Ascent Houston stream,
it's pretty much just that
was pretty jank. I'm not gonna lie, but now just if I'm looking at Ascent Seattle and SEA Nats and those kind of streams, I was like, wow, we have so huge difference between. I want to say quality, right?
I mean, Houston was, what, a year and a half ago?
Don't
a year and 8 months ago? It doesn't, it feels forever ago, but it was less than 2 years ago, which is insane how far we've come here, both from, the size of events, tickets selling out. I remember we talked about Houston, we were like, I don't know if 100 people are going to come,
So I guess that was a good prediction, right?
Yeah. But then even further down, we've hosted 113 regionals around the world, all the way from Dubai, London, parts of Indonesia now as well, and parts that 639 store championships. I think last year we only had 300 or so across the entire year, so already doubling there. And then of course 16,807 local events. So glad to see that Grand Archive can be enjoyed anywhere and anywhere. Yeah, and then this is the first full year of our OmniDex launch. So a lot of great data, a lot of great numbers we want to celebrate here. In this full year, we've had 9,758 new registered players, all the way up from 5,000 with OmniDex's original launch back in ALC.
That's a lot of new people.
Triple that player count.
That's a lot of players, which does correlate with a bunch of locals.
Yeah. It was exactly here. Like from last year, we had 300 registered game stores hosting events. Now this year, we've got another 309 new game stores, making that a total of 609 game stores, and plenty more to come soon along the way. On top of that, just looking at OmniDex's stats itself, 520,000 games hosted, whether it is ranked locals, whether it is at Ascent, or the online league. That is a lot of matches you guys have been playing.
500,000. And most of them, even if you count it as best of one, that's a lot of time playing.
Hey, every match is 2 players. That's a million people in game.
That's a lot of GA being played.
And then, of course, for our wonderful judges, we've had 543 registered judges. So congrats to you. There's so much more we want to build out with the judge program. But I think for a first year in launch, OmniDex has been massively successful. We've gotten a lot of praise for how well balanced the OP platform is relative to other games, relative to the industry itself. And so a big round of applause for, Silidar for directing that project, for Pichu for helping build it out, and for everyone for helping use it and pressure test it.
Yeah,
so look forward to a lot of future upgrades there. Now, looking at the elements, always a big pain point of like, what is too played, what isn't played enough. So here, it's been a pretty wide range, starting from Fire's, really early dominance early this year, to potentially Norm Slime Spirit becoming a very prevalent threat. We see both the 12% representation and Terra being the most represented advanced element, to now Wind and Water taking the meta share, or the lion's share of the meta. And so we see it's a pretty even spread from a basic element throughout the entire year. Then the advanced element spread is pretty interesting, with Umbra, Crux being very highly represented, 2 very powerful champions in Diana and Tristan both using Umbra. But then the rest of the elements having their own showings as well, with Arcane very early in the season being one of the most represented, archetypes at Worlds earlier this year. So fairly interesting to see where this spread is for this year's elements. We'll see how next year goes.
See the improvement.
Now, for your champions, of course, with that Terra representation, Sylvie is the most popular champion of the year. The crowns here represent the number of Ascent wins, so Sylvie with 2 Ascent wins. This does include Ascent Worlds, so congratulations to main deck. You have 3 crowns on the
Yay!
And then to Glenn as well, with Merlin being the world champion deck listed at the moment. But across the board, Vanitas being lowest represented, but still with a win. And then the other champions and wins pretty equally spread around. Of course, there are clear favorites, but we've seen thousands of games being played on each of these champions. Mordred, I think it was more like 19 games, but he'll get it. I promise.
He's on the board, though. He's on the board.
Now, to cover the products in review in year 2, we started out with the release of Mercurial Heart, first edition, with the much proclaimed Sylvie and Tristan recollection decks. I think those are, I'm very happy to have been able to lead the product design on the construction of those products. I'm very happy with the reception that they've had.
Yeah, I do think that out of all the other TCG products, not just GA, but like in general, I think the recollection did kind of hit a market where I think a lot of people tried to do but missed pretty well. It came out with, with a deck that's really strong right out of the box. It came with supply, so you don't have to go buy your sleeves or buy sleeves that you don't know if it's going to be legal for like a tournament or whatever. It's like, well, it's Dragon Shield, it comes in the box, you're good to go. And I know for Grand Archive is my first TCG, so what app do I use for damage? How do I track life or whatever? Well, it comes with little slidey things, so you can use that while generally speaking, your friend would recommend you something, but you can use that in the meantime, right? And obviously the box is really nice, and it's also a storage box, or it can be used for a storage box.
Exactly.
So, really good value.
There's a lot of lessons learned from like how other games do their starter products. Like, you know, Magic was the original one with the diet, and like, it makes a lot of sense for us to both have a health and counter tracker. But there's a lot of lessons in other industries, like luxury packaging, like perfume, where the box is part of the branding, part of the keepsake, and you want to store it. And so for us, it was like, you know, a lot of starter products are like you open it once and you just throw it away, right?
Oh, yeah.
But what if you had value in maintaining it? And it's always so heartening to see people go to a Sense or locals with like their Sylvie or Tristan magnetic storage box. And so I think that's been a wonderful solution for an entry-level product for the game. And then after that, you know, Supporter Pack 2, which raised, oh gosh, I think 200K for the organized play program, which hopefully you guys have attended and seen kind of the effect that product has had in us being able to improve our Ascent production value, as well as bringing Ascent to other region. And then followed by the launch of Mortal Ambition First Edition with the Jin and Kongming starter decks. The rice cooker foiling test, which I was unable to attend.
That was really fun.
Another, you know, incredible achievement, I think, for the industry, in which we've been able to both, you know, this may not be known, but we reduce the plastic waste of the game because we're no longer printing, you know, additional plastic parts into the game, but also the cards are more durable for curling because they don't have that mylar layer. They're more, you know, special. You can keep them, you can play them in your deck, which is often the biggest complaint with trying to max rarity a deck.
Yeah, I know. I mean, especially me, you know, TM, because we open a lot, but we're also pretty messy. So sometimes we'll just leave a lot of foils. Just kind of, we kind of just leave foils, right? So there is times where, you know, some of them would curl, or most of them would curl, right? But yeah, like now that these really don't foil or curl at all, right? It's just, well, it's kind of enabling us to just leave them now, but like, but it's now like I don't get punished for just leaving it now. It's gonna be perfect. I can still sleeve it into a deck. It's still nice. Still looks like a brand new card. So yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah, and there are questions of like, how do we want to brand this? What do we make it stand out? The thing is, like, it's just become and replaced our main line of foil. It is just the standard now for Grand Archive. And so we'll think about ways to maybe market it more, additional rice cooking tests in the future. But yeah, then came along Mortal Ambition Draft Pack, which was a very contained release at premiere events, but we've seen a lot of demand for it, a lot of success. So big props to Sunny and the design team for being able to, you know, bring out that format. We hear you. We're thinking of ways of how we can bring this to more events or the game stores in the future. And followed by that, our first reprint set, Alchemical Revolution Alter Edition, you know, took very well. We've already planned a second print run for this, and then Abyssal Heaven First Edition that just came out. Both the Guojia and Dao Chan recollections, both making very, you know, meta impacts in the scene. And then finally wrapping up the year with the production of Mercurial Heart Alter Edition, which we'll touch upon more, as well as the Recollection Lights, a condensed version of the deck that can be more readily available at a cheaper price.
Yeah, it's super exciting to see not only new sets, you know, first edition products, but any of the alter products, because you know, the game, as your graphic has shown, we have so many new players, and not everyone has joined since the beginning. Sometimes some of them could be towards the end where the product is gone, right? Yeah. So I know the ALC, for example, gone, right? So if you join the game now, it's like, oh, I want to play ALC cards. It's very expensive, even MRC, for example, right? So super exciting that you know, ALC Alter, MRC Alter is coming out, so we can start, you know, pumping supplies into the market for these players, so they can 10 more cents, you know.
Now, of course, that's a lot of products, but what does it mean, right? What does that mean for the game? Well, the raw numbers here. Last year, we produced 43 million cards. This year, we printed 70 million cards. The part of the being point company that runs manufacturing is that we're working with our own printing company, our own partner. That means every step of the way, we have to figure out, how do we meet demand where it is? How do we produce more product, be able to satisfy people? How do we reprint products to make sure that enough cards get into circulation? And you know, earlier this year, we had the challenge where we were not able to produce enough ALC to meet demand initially. And last year, you know, we produced 35 million packs. This year, we produced 6.8 million packs. And then looking at boxes, this time last year, we were producing 27,000 ALC, which was a struggle. Producing 27,000 MRC, which was, you know, really close to the deadline. We produced around 100,000 boxes last year. This year, we produced 227,750 boxes. And this last 4-month cycle, I think we've produced over 100,000 boxes ready to go into circulation, both for HVN, MRC Altered, but also Dawn of Ashes Altered, ALC Altered reprints. And so not only have been able, as a game, to expand both our footprint as far as our player count and our event count, but also our production capabilities to make sure we can keep the standard the same across the board as well.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling where, you know, obviously in the beginning, all you had to worry about was get the next set out. That's it. New set, we're done. Move on to the next one. So arguably 100K is like, you know, new set only, basically, right? But now that's like, oh, now we not only have to keep the same mindset of we need to keep the new set out, you know, DTR's coming out and set 8, set 9, whatever. But, oh, we still have to supply the new players that didn't have access to the older product. So the print cycle must be crazy.
So I'm barely here. Yeah, there we go. And thank you so much for tuning in to our year in review. And so we'll hand it off now for the trivia and giveaway section.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and set that up, guys. So we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break. So don't go anywhere, or maybe use the restroom or something. And after 5 minutes, we'll do a trivia, and then we have Belle and Ken to let you know more.
All right, thank you guys so much.
Alrighty, welcome back, chat, to the 2-year Grand Archive TCG anniversary stream. We are back for some trivia and giveaways, and joined with me on the desk is creative lead of Grand Archive TCG, Belle herself. How are you doing today?
Hi, everyone. Always happy to be here.
I know, it's super exciting. I know Roger and Ginger were just on talking about the last 2 years, which have been an incredible journey. But now it's time for more community stuff. And don't forget to keep staying on, because we're going to be continuing with some more announcements and some more giveaways like right now. So let's do a quick rundown of what's going on in the next couple minutes here. So we're gonna do some trivia and giveaway with some well-known Grand Archive TCG content creators. Joining us on the desk today is going to be, Creative Shock, Valkyrie, Lineage Break, Serene Balance Production, but I think we know who that is. I think it's someone named Once in Love, and of course Main Deck and the Sparkle Sisters. We're gonna ask them some questions, and for everything that they get right, we're gonna add some Lost in Thought playmats to the giveaway pool. I know Lost in Thought playmats were incredibly popular at the Ascent. They were the first to sell out.
It's a really pretty. I remember when I first saw this art, I was so shocked because it's really different from a lot of these types of arts that we get. Very scenic, and I was as soon as I saw it, I was like, this has to be a playmat.
Yeah. So it was just a little bit of fun before we bring the devs back on for some announcements later. So let's have some fun with the community.
Okay.
These are.
Oh, I just explained. Oh, alrighty. Well, I'm going to mention it again. So we're going to mention.
Oh, it's going to be in teams.
Yeah.
So,
they're going to be in teams.
Yeah. So they're going to be in teams of 2.
Okay.
So our first team of 2 is going to be Creative Shock and Valkyrie. Our second team will then be Balanced Productions, Once in Love, and Sparkle Sisters. And then we'll have Main Deck and Lineage Break as their own team at the end as well. So we're going to go into our first team here with Creative Shock and Valkyrie for our first set of questions.
Jeez, they're looking fly.
Can you hear us? Well, we cannot hear them. Give us a second. 1 second.
All right, just give us a second, chat. We're going to start momentarily, but I see a lot of people in the chat right now. I know from all over the world. So, chat, why don't you just type where you're from while we fix this problem? Alrighty.
Oh, maybe we can hear them. Can you guys say something?
Hello, can you hear us?
There we go. Test. There we go. We can hear them.
We can hear them. It's a little loud, though.
White one, top dial.
Oh.
Alrighty, how are you doing, Limelight and Valkyrie? How are we doing?
Yeah, good. We're ready to pass some trivia questions, hopefully. Isn't that right, Val?
Gotcha.
That is. We're hoping to get some for chat out here.
Yep, you guys are in incredible hands. We have a World Championship contender from the prior season and a Grand Archive commentator on the desk. So if they get this wrong, I'm gonna, no pressure or anything.
Do you guys want to quickly introduce yourselves for those who may not be familiar with you?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Limelight. I am part of Creative Shock. I'm also one of the moderators for the Grand Archive Discord, and I was the Diana player that was at Worlds last year. So it's a little bit about me.
Ooh.
Diana!
And then
representation.
My name is Valkyrie. I'm a Grand Archive content creator and commentator. You may have heard me in Seattle, Chicago, and a lot of the online regional events with Serene Balance. So super happy to be here, and thank you all.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Super happy to have you guys.
I know, it's exciting, and welcome to Grand Archive TCG 2-year anniversary trivia.
All right, drum roll for our first.
Roll. Let's go with the first question.
First question.
All right, some chat wants some giveaway mats. Alrighty, here we'll go. All right, question 1. What is the 4th most popular card registered into deck lists for OmniDex events? Ignore card counts, as in like multiples and copies of them. Is it A, Dungeon Guide, B, Quicksilver Grail, C, Terrafring, or D, Backup Charger? Feel free to help each other out.
Remember, this is the 4th most popular, not the most popular.
Yeah, 4th most popular card registered deck lists.
4th, that is tough. So Lime, I'm thinking here. Grand Crusader's Ring, probably 1 or 2. It was the only Divine Relic for quite some time.
Yep. I think that it's definitely not Terrafring. I think Terrafring might be higher as well, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm with you there. Backup Charger is interesting. Yeah. It's a newer card, but as soon as that came out, everyone just was running that in Mercurial decks. I'm slightly leaning towards Grail because it's more of that tech piece. A lot of the time, certain decks run it main board, but a lot could have it side.
I think there's not enough level 3 decks being played for Dungeon Guide to be even 4th. I think it'll be further back than 4th, so I don't think it's Dungeon Guide. I would probably be going with either Backup Charger or Quicksilver Grail. It's just it's kind of like a 50-50 flip for me though. It's like which one do we think? I guess Backup Charger. Oh, they're both the same price. I can't think of even price standards to be honest. Actually,
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt your guessing, but there was a typo here.
Yep.
There is a new contender. I don't think it's updating on the slide, but please replace C from Terrafring to Safeguard Amulet. So that is your new potential one. If you'd like to try guessing C.
All right.
Oh.
Yep. So now your options are A, Dungeon Guide, B, Quicksilver Grail, C, Safeguard Amulet, or D, Backup Charger.
Ooh, okay, it's not Dungeon Guides. I think we crossed Dungeon Guides off. That's off. All right.
Okay.
USG, Safeguard, Tariff. Oh, you said not Tariffing, or is Tariff?
It's a Safeguard over Tariff.
Cool. Well, did they add the Safeguard because it's the right answer and they didn't want us to say four on it?
No, the dev team works in mysterious ways.
What are you thinking, Val?
Oh, so Safeguard. I feel like is one of those like the option is there to trick us because it was run a lot in like earlier decks because that was just like generic material deck protection that you would run. So I think it would be higher than the fourth most common material. I'm really leaning towards the 50-50 of Quicksilver
Is there
and
10
Backup Charger, like you
seconds? Are we
said.
being called by the producer?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
All right, the producer is giving us a timer.
Yeah, lock it in.
Alrighty, what was your answer? Your answer was Quicksilver Grail.
The answer is
Final answer. Yep. Well, it turns out that the dev team does work in mysterious ways. And the correct answer was C, Safeguard Amulet.
I knew it.
The trivia, I guess, for the chat is Safeguard Amulet was registered in 2013 decks, 59.94% of all deck lists.
a
Wow.
pretty high number.
So the right answer wasn't even there.
In metagame, though.
This is a test.
That was a test. That was a test. So next time we get another typo going on. All right, let's go to the question 2, and I will let you read this one out.
Question 2, we have how many editions are there of the card Idle Thoughts, everyone's favorite reprinted card? We have A, 9 editions, B, 10 editions, C, 11 editions, or D, 12 editions. I see them counting in their head.
Like trying to stay quiet because they're like.
I believe it's
in
9. I
trance.
believe it's 9. Let me just think in my head, though. I believe it's 9.
Yeah.
I'm with you on 9 as well.
I'm pretty
Okay,
sure it's
they're
9.
both on 9.
Are we counting the same like recollection deck set as 1? Would that be assumed?
Who knows? Who knows?
Is there any extra answers or anything that needs to be changed?
Before they lock in an answer, are there any more typos on the slide? I think this one might actually be final. Might actually be.
Yeah, this one is okay.
This one's
Yeah.
Star gave me a.
Alright, hold on. Let me quickly.
So wait,
No, not yet. They're
DOA,
counting.
DOA starter, AMB starter, recollection.
It's 9 on my. But wait. Hold on. Wait. How many different types? What about the promo Idle Thoughts? So
It says
10.
additions, so we would count it. Yeah, if it's additions, not.
Well, then it'd be 10 because you got the Taipei Taiwan Idle Thoughts promo as well. So I think it would be
taking
10. But
this whole
that's me
real
like shooting from the hip a little bit as well.
That's the Square Live one, right?
No, it's the promo one for like Taipei. Is there a Square Live one as well? That makes it 11.
I'm trying to think if there is one.
I don't think so.
No, there's Study the Fables. I'm thinking of.
Yeah, so it'd be 1, 2, 3 DOA. It'd be ALC 1, 2, 3. It would be recollection, right?
Yeah.
That's 10 already. But then what about Jin and Kong Min? They have Idle Thoughts as well.
Yeah.
So that's 12. And then the promo would be 13. Was there even a 13 answer?
Nope. It's 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Yeah. Checking 13 is not an answer. Right? But it seems like the chat is also, there's a variety of answers in chat as well, but you guys seem to be leaning on that 9. But I am going to start pushing you guys here to lock in an answer in just a second. You got 10 seconds left. Producer is telling me 10 seconds.
Oh gosh. Let's just stay on theme. Send the B. I liked our original reasoning for that 10.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
We'll
All
send
right,
B.
B,
10.
final answer. And the answer is D, 12. Our fun fact here is that Idle Thoughts is a card usually included in introductory product to help new players get accustomed to the floating memory keyword. Did you know? All right.
Damn.
It's okay. You still have 3 more questions to redeem yourselves. You can still get the majority correct. It's not over yet.
All right.
Next question, Ken, if you'd like to introduce the next question.
Alrighty. Let's the next question here. So question 3, Immortal Ambition draft packs. The nameless champion can be found with various class combinations. How many variations are there? A, 13, B, 15. He said easy. C, 17, or D, 25.
There are a lot of combinations.
If I multiply every class by 10, is that even 25?
Wait,
25 is not an even number, Ken. It doesn't work that way.
Wait, there's supposed to be 24, I thought, because there's 3 nameless champs in each draft pack, and there's 8 draft packs in a pod. Right?
Who
Or am I going
knows?
crazy?
You're the math guy here, not me. No.
I thought I was literally thinking about this earlier today because I was like, I gotta put together a cube for draft because I really enjoy it. It's so fun.
Just shower thoughts like, how many nameless champions are there?
That's how we keep the questions, by the way.
Yeah.
So what were the answers? A, B, C, D. What were they?
Shinja says that you can check the Discord. He's streaming them, so you can take a look.
Oh,
on
okay.
the- so you can follow
Perfect.
along. That way you don't get lost in the sauce.
Makes it easier. So 13, 15, 17, and 25.
Mm-hmm. And chat, there's a resounding number of chatters saying B. If you just as a
Oh
hint.
no.
Yeah, the chat's helping out. The chat's trying to
helping
help out.
out.
I mean, the chat could be wrong. I mean,
It could be wrong. We have a couple
people
C's.
might just not play draft.
We have a couple of people saying C as well. Yeah.
And these prizes for chat, right? So if chat is a resounding B
A's,
and they get it
we're
wrong,
getting
it's their fault,
A2.
right?
Oh, okay. He's
One-
trying to pass the blame off into someone else.
Oh, I see.
Do
I see.
do we just send it Team B?
we
we
got-
just
we
ride
got-
the B train.
We're having a lot more C's now all of a sudden, just as a heads up.
Oh
Okay.
goodness.
Are you actually gonna lock in the chat answer? I mean, there's a variety of people, but I think we can agree that chat.
It's
So-
75%.
How many classes are there? There's
Warrior.
Ranger.
All right, 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Let's go with what was the let's go was it C at the end?
Chat was going B mostly. They said.
It's a big mix of B's and C's.
It's like
All right,
75%.
you're going with the answer from chat. Is that the final
Yeah.
answer?
Let's go 20,
Alrighty.
let's go 24. The 24.
There's no
There's no-
24. That's the problem.
25. 25. 25.
Wait, you're doing 25?
Let's go
That
25.
one.
You're going 20. You're gonna go against what your partner
No.
say. Valkyrie.
What answer was 25? Is that D?
Yeah, that's D.
Let's go C. Let's go C. Let's go C.
Oh.
C. Sorry.
Okay,
Valkyrie,
so
what do you say? Is C your
against
final
the wishes
answer?
of the chat, against his own partner, and going on a whim,
C.
Team A locks in C.
Valkyrie,
17.
Valkyrie, is that your answer?
Lime said it. I'm
Lime
following.
said it. Okay, we're going full send. B,
Full
final
send.
answer.
And the answer is
Lime.
B15. Valkyrie, I saw it in your face. You wanted to fight for chat, and you were like, I'm gonna listen to my partner. We're going down this hill together.
Ah.
So there is no such thing as the world competitor difference. I found out in Grand Archive.
But to be fair, all right, I'll give you this. You guys were a team. Chat is not necessarily on your team.
It's true.
So-
It's true.
Oh.
The fun,
Yeah.
All right.
the fun fact here, though,
Please.
is that at Ascent Kuala Lumpur at the draft event, someone pulled a Kongming CUR, the number 7. So that's all more reason for everyone to try out draft next time you go to an Ascent. You might be the lucky guy pulling a CUR. But I mean, your draft pod might get messed up, but you wouldn't pass up on a CUR number 7, would you?
I mean, I don't need the card for my draft.
All right.
Alrighty,
All right.
two more.
2 more questions. It's okay. You still have a chance. Maybe, these questions. I believe.
Alrighty.
All
I
right.
see
Question
this
4.
one. Ooh. No.
Oh.
I think you should do this one.
Oh, I see. This one is a lore question. We have question 4. Which of the following named characters is not considered a god in the Grand Archive? We have A. Proxia, B. Lumina, C. Gaia, and D. Luxera.
You guys should just ask Belle a bunch of questions and just watch her body. Why is she
Don't
reacting
do that.
to what-
I'm not good at lying. Don't ask me questions. I will say though that all 4 are names that you should be familiar with.
Yes.
Proxy is a god and Gaia is a god.
Yes. We're very familiar with all 4 names. Proxia has a vault, Lumina has a scepter, Gaia has a blessing, and Luxera has a map.
Okay, that's a good start. That's a great start. That's a good start.
I'm pretty sure Proxia, if I remember from the lore-wise, is the creator, the tinkerer who's visited by other gods or champions in her workshop who brought us the Ersana. So lore-wise, I'm scratching off Proxia. Gaia, I believe you're correct as well, because...
Avatar of Gaia, etc. There's so much
Yes.
relation to gods, yeah.
And then Nimue is the spirit of the lake. I think it has something to do with Gaia as well. Whatever, get to that later. Tinfoil hat. Lumina is one that I don't hear often. I would probably assume Luxera is more of a god, because I really think Luxera might have been the one who visited Proxia in the article with Proxia's vault.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to lean towards the B train. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
Well, I think Gaia is 100% a god, and I believe Proxia was 100% a god, right? So Luxera, it's between Luxera and Lumina for me. Now, I believe that Lumina has not got like a blessing or anything like that. I can't think of anything other than the scepter of Lumina that would say that Lumina is a god. But at the same time, I don't have I'm not 100% sure on either one. So like a 50-50 on those two.
Okay, so I just remembered something. I'm pretty sure Lunette carries the Scepter of Lumina, and Lunette is the Frostbinder priestess, and she would probably be a priestess for Lumina.
True. Yes, that's a great thing to realize, actually. So is Lux...
Alrighty, producer's telling me 10 seconds left, but the conversation is quite nice. They know what you're talking about.
They do.
They know what you're talking about.
A lot of chat
You know-
is also agreeing
There-
B, but
Yeah, but the
Oh,
chat doesn't
gosh.
matter anymore. We've learned
that's
this
true.
one.
There is no-
I think they just
there is
click
no-
B for everything, to be honest.
What do you think, Val? Is it Luxera that's not a god, or how do you feel about that?
I wish I could remember, but I'm pretty sure Luxera visited during the article of Proxia's vault. So
Is Proxia
think-
not a god? Is Proxia a tinkerer?
no, she's in the realm of the gods. She's in the realm of the gods.
Alrighty, I need a
You wanna
final
lock-
answer.
Yeah.
Do we lock it? We'll lock in B. We'll lock in B. I'm
Okay.
taking over
Okay.
Lime. It's over. B.
Alright.
All right, the answer is B. Yay! All I got out of this is Valkyrie reads lore and Limelight. You need to do your homework.
It's okay, it's okay.
I'm
The
watching,
gameplay
I'm
question is
watching.
coming up. We'll rock it, we'll
I
rock it.
I'm a card game player. I don't read guns. I play card games.
To be fair, Lumina is a local god. So there are local gods, and then there are like the Grand Archive gods. So that's the little tricky part. And the question asks which one is a Grand Archive god, and that's why Lumina was not counted. You are correct. Lumina is a priestess. Lunette is a priestess for Lumina, which is why we have Lumina's staff. And there's a lot of references to Lumina in the flavor as well. So yeah.
No, keep talking. That's interesting.
No, congratulations. No, I'm so happy that Valkyrie read the lore. It means a lot to me. So I remembered. Yeah.
It's good lore.
Thank you.
Alrighty, we're
Next
moving on
question.
to our final question
Final
for
question.
the duo.
Yes, gameplay related.
Alright. Well, it's kind of gameplay related, but I will say the question. So Sky-sama is a Grand Archive player based in California with the highest VP veterancy points on Omnidex. Currently with 905 VP, how many ranked matches have they played in? A, 907, B, 580, C, 1,724, or D, 256.
You know, this is meant as no flame to Sky-sama, but I placed higher them at a regional, so I'm gonna say 907A because that's barely their VP.
I like how you're just like, yeah, I beat them in original, so it's 907. Trust me,
No,
bro.
Skysama's amazing. Great player. A great person.
What is the
Why?
actual? What do we think the actual math is for it?
I don't know. Maybe you should think about how many games maybe you potentially played, and maybe
I think
I
that's a
play a
pretty
lot of
good
games.
start.
I have a lot of VP as well, actually. Let me
Yeah.
think. There's no way it's like 1,000.
Not as many as
Not as
Skysama
much
though,
as
apparently.
Skysama.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not as many.
Oh, that's
Alright.
so because I think I only have like 200 games. I play in locals maybe every other week and then go to a couple of ascents.
The chat is pretty everywhere right now. I think everyone's
Lots
just,
of A's and B's
yeah, a
from
lot of A's and
chat.
B's. There's a C in there, but I think this
Yeah.
is a Hail Mary from a lot of people here.
So how much VP did he have? Sorry,
905.
905.
905.
Yeah, I'd say this is a pretty good range. You have a low end and ultra high end, some two in the middle. Just
What are you
take a
thinking,
second to
Bill?
think.
I'm thinking A, but that seems just like a lot of games because on average in Ascent you play anywhere from like 9 to 13 depending on Skysama Days 2 is a lot.
Yes.
And then
he
locals,
also does
Skysama
a lot of games.
plays
Yeah,
like
a lot of-
2 locals a week. That's about 6. So 6 times 52 is quick math,
They're doing the math.
320
Impressive.
some.
They're pulling out the
Plus
calculus for this
Ascent.
one.
So it
Ascent
cannot
equals-
be D. It's likely it could be
okay.
B. So it's
Alrighty,
B and A, I
producers
think, are
telling
the
me
2
10
options.
seconds. 10 seconds.
Lime, the will is in your hands, Lime. Please guide chat to another playmat, A or B.
Alright, yeah, Valkyrie got the lore question. All right, this is the gameplay question that you were asking.
I mean, sure, it is kind of gameplay.
Literal number of games.
So what was the answer for A and B? Sorry, I can't see it. What's the answer for A and what's the
So
answer
A
for
is
B?
907 and B
Yep.
is 580.
Oh, I'm leaning towards B more. I feel like 900 is like, it's probably close, but it's like a bait answer. I'm thinking, I'm going to say B.
B,
Right,
final
just letting you know,
answer?
Is B or
My
final
heart's
answer?
A, chat, if anyone does
Okay.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna give you
We'll go A,
3
we'll go A,
seconds
we'll go
right
A.
now. Okay.
Let's go A.
He-
Final answer?
He's trusting his partner. And final answer.
Yay!
Good job, Bob.
Friendship!
Power of friendship.
Friendship
go
wins
on!
through all. Our fun fact here is Skysama has participated in 229 ranked Omnidex events. That is a lot of ranked
Yeah.
events.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you
That's
guys so
insane.
much for answering our trivia questions. I'm sorry they were so tricky, but I hope you guys had fun, and thank you guys so much for always making awesome content for Grand Archive. We're gonna switch us into our next group. Oh no!
Surprise.
Oh, surprise! Oh, you guys get a surprise. Are you guys excited? How are you feeling?
Yeah.
You and chat, you guys earned this surprise for all of your hard work, for the friendship that you guys showed us today. Here is our spoiler card for you guys
Oh.
right now. Can you guys see? You guys can see, right? I know you guys
I'm looking
couldn't
at
see
question
earlier.
5.
I see
Oh,
question
okay,
5.
yeah, okay.
That's
We
the
can see it.
spoiler.
Here we go, spoiler.
Here you go. I'm gonna give chat and you a second to look at this. Take
Yeah, feel
screenshots.
free
share them
to
online.
react. Feel free to read it out loud, like
Yes.
however.
Get a thumbnail face, Lime. Go.
Scathing Seminary, 2+1 Allied Cleric Human, balance on enter as a spell. If the amount of cards your hand and memory are equal, deal 2 unpreventable damage to target unit. Ooh.
Ooh.
So it's a 2-cost 4/1 technically if you're balanced, which is a Gildas kind of, which is cool. And it's cleric
It's a little
class.
tricky to
Five
balance,
Vanitas?
though.
5 Vanitas?
What are you guys thinking? How do you guys feel about the
think
card?
this?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I think
cool.
that
Cool.
I like the balance mechanic. I do also like that the balance mechanic has always been cleric cards, and this is like a class bonus balance for cleric. So hopefully it does help bring in the more balanced regalia that cleric has as well, and you can actually make a full blown cleric balance deck, which would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Valkyrie,
I like
any
it.
comments on the card before we switch over?
No, I'm a big fan to see what some cleric decks can do with it. Balancing on 5 is going to be a little bit tricky, but I'm curious to see. I think it is a good Dao Chan card as well.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah. looking forward to seeing how you guys maybe incorporate this card. Thank you guys again so much for your time. We'll see you guys very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, bringing in our next
we're
set
bringing
of
in our
guests
next-
here.
Next set of questions and our new duo.
We have Serene Balance Productions and the Sparkle Sisters. Give us 1 second to bring them on. Unfortunately, right now, the content creators are down a little bit.
Yep.
They've gotten
Yep,
one
they
answer
are.
correct so
Two.
far. Oh,
Two.
two answers correct.
Two,
That's
yeah,
right.
they are
Two answers
for
correct.
5.
It's okay. Maybe the next group of content creators can help shore up a little bit
Yeah.
and get us some extra playmats to
Yeah, but-
give away to
but-
chat.
How do we feel about that spoiler though? Pretty neat.
So the meme is the flavor
Okay.
because it did have flagma in it, and I know that rings PTSD for certain folks. But do not worry, there are no fishes or manga
Okay, that is
in this flavor.
extremely on brand because I'm like, yo, how's the card? And she immediately goes, yo, the flavor.
It's
Alrighty.
important. What can I
We're
say?
getting the thumbs up signal, and we're
All
bringing in our next
right.
content creator duo, or I guess
Trio.
Trio? Duo plus 1?
We have, would you like to introduce yourself for those who may not know you? We'll start with Tyler. Go for it. Oh, I can't.
Hold on, we're not getting audio. Alrighty. Oh, just stop talking. Stop talking. Okay.
Tyler, sorry, we can't hear. Okay, try again.
Okay,
Hello,
got it. We
testing.
can.
Okay,
1, 2.
awesome. Sorry, we can hear you now. If you
Microphone
could
check.
once again reintroduce yourself. I'm so sorry about that.
Cool. Hi. Hello. My name is Once in Love. Here representing Serene Balance Productions. For those of you guys who did not know, we generally stream all of the online Yeti webcam weeklies, regionals, and other events. You guys have seen us around at a lot of different things, but we're here today to hopefully win you guys some playmats. So please, I beg of you, don't cook me if I get something wrong, please.
Alrighty, and the Sparkle Sisters, if you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Hey, we're the Sparkle Sister, and I'm Tammy.
I'm Tanya, and we're representing the Sparkle Sis Live channel. And today we also hope to get you some playmats.
Don't forget.
Nice. Well, nice to meet you, Tanya, Tammy, and of course Tyler.
Oh,
Yeah, treat
Triple
them
T.
nicely. Triple T.
The Triple T Squad.
Oh, true.
Which means triple playmats.
True. All right, here we go into the first question for you all.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So, question 6. Which of the following keywords does Neo's Elemental not have? A. Steadfast. B. Haunt. C. True Sight. Or D. Ambush. Feel free to discuss amongst yourselves.
I'm
Does
pretty sure it's
not
ambush.
have.
Not.
Not have.
Yeah.
Does not.
Not have.
So,
Yeah,
so my
steadfast.
my logic for ambush is a keyword from AMB. So I don't think this card can be printed with ambush at all.
Yeah, that's
Ah,
right.
Yeah.
We also saw an ambush.
I'm thinking of C or D, but you're right. Ambush.
Yeah, because
Oh,
ambush
actually,
started.
it's MRC that had ambush.
Ambushes.
It
Okay.
came on the cloaked
Turn-
execution.
turn of events.
I'm pretty sure.
That's that was a pretty big 180. But chat
Yeah,
is
but
still
ambush.
sounding D. All right, 10
I'm pretty
seconds
sure it's
left.
D.
Pretty sure
Let's
it's
go
D.
ambush.
Yeah.
Okay,
Alrighty.
ambush, final
And critter.
answer.
Triple T's lock in D.
Yeah,
Ambush.
Let's go.
Neo's
Let's
Elemental
go. Nice.
also has hindered and vigor. is what the
Yeah,
flavor
lots of
does.
keywords
Yeah.
in the Neos.
Alrighty, and that's
Section.
additional playmats for the community, and Triple T is already 1 for 1.
I'm so nervous.
It's just yeah.
15.
Oh, we have 15 mats that we're giving away at this point.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're doing great.
It's a
we're
lot
doing
of
great.
mats. A
All
lot
right,
of mats.
question 7.
It's 5 per question.
Oh, so we're giving 5 extra mats per question
okay.
that's answered correctly. So we're at 15 mats right
So
now.
yeah, is
Keep your eyes peeled,
team creator
everybody.
given 15
Oh, this one
mats to
has
give
a-
away. Incredible.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yep. We were doing some forensic science over here.
True.
Um,
Okay, we're
okay.
good to go. No, actually, you should ask this one.
I should do this one.
Yeah.
All right, question 7 to
Event-related.
the content creators. The Dragon Shield sleeves given away at Ascent Worlds 2024, which features the promotional art of Frostbind, were mislabeled on its packaging. What were the sleeves' name on the packaging? A. Frostbind. B. Shatterfall Keep. That's a lisp if I ever. C. Frostbite. Or D. Tristan Shadow Dancer.
I don't think it's a typo. Will it be a typo?
It's B. It's B, and it's because it has the typo. They spelled the card wrong. The art is supposed to be Shatterfall Keep, not Shatterfall.
Shatterfall.
Wait, it's not spelled Shatterfall?
Pretty sure it's not spelled Shatterfall, but that is what the card. That's what it says on the box.
That's what it is. But is that your final answer?
I don't know. What do the Sparkle Sisters
what do
think?
Sparkle Sisters think?
We know about this
Yeah,
one.
We
Yeah.
will follow once in love.
Yeah.
Trust. We lock in. We lock in
Alright,
Shatterfall.
The triple T is for
the triple
trust.
T is for trust.
It's for
True.
trust. Okay.
Yep.
All three of our names
Yeah,
have
it's
5
okay.
letters. They all start with T, and we trust.
Yeah.
That's the lore goes crazy. The lore goes
The
crazy.
lore goes crazy. The lore goes crazy. All
Oh,
right.
final
Answer
answer
is
It is
Shatterfall Keep. Yep.
Let's go.
The boxes
Trust.
do indeed say Shatterfall Keep.
Very
And as
unfortunate.
many members of the chat were saying, those were my favorite sleeves.
They're really nice. They're really, really nice sleeves.
Yep, and as a little tidbit for everyone here, Dragon Shield will be returning to sponsor sleeves for Ascent Worlds 2025.
I hope you guys are looking forward to
Hope you guys are looking
those.
forward to the next set of Dragon Shield sleeves for both the World Championships.
Oh,
And
super
Network.
high
Do
quality.
we get to know
so.
if they're going to be included in our entry packages, Pog?
Oh, who knows? Find
We'll
out.
have to
Maybe
find
later
out.
today. Who knows? Or something.
Stay tuned to maybe find out.
Stay tuned for more announcements later on the
Yeah.
stream.
Alrighty, next question though. I prepared another lore
She's
question
just
for
convenient
y'all.
with me.
We have question number 8. We have Proxia is best known, we just talked about her, for creating some of our favorite objects kept in her vault. What does she represent as a god? A. Treasure. B. Imagination. C. Secrets. Or D. Creation.
I think it's creation because he created a lot of proxies.
Or maybe A, treasure.
Uh,
Because she makes a lot of treasure.
what do you think, Tyler?
I like the logic for D. I don't know the answer to this, but I think the creation sounds like it's the best.
Yeah,
Because she create a lot of things.
the
Yeah,
god
it's
of
like-
creation.
It's like creation, and like she just creates different things.
Yeah,
new
we
things.
create-
I actually
yeah.
don't know. I have no clue.
I think it's A or D, but if you both go with D, then we choose D.
Yeah, but A has T in the first.
Oh, true. Oh no, the
Take a
betrayal.
second. The logic is
Take your time. Take your
Betrayal.
time. The producer hasn't told me you already have time yet. Think it through.
I think I will vote for D for creation.
How about you? Maybe we'll just
Alrighty.
go for D.
Now I am getting
It's-
the 10-second
It's hard
warning.
because like the concept of secret seems cool too. I don't know. I'm a trust our gut here and say D. Creation is cool.
Alrighty.
Okay, let's
All
do
right.
it.
Well,
Yeah,
before
let's
we
go.
go to the answer, have you all read the lore? Important
Yeah, we read
question.
it. But we,
No.
Tyler, I'm watching you.
Well, I didn't even know there. I didn't even know
I
there
know the
was
Sparkle
like
Sisters
written
read the
lore
lore,
for Proxia.
so that's why
we read it.
I love the Sparkle Sisters because they read the lore. But the answer,
Okay, wait,
unfortunately,
Quick question
Oh.
then. Where is the lore printed for Proxia? Is it on an article?
it's an article, yes. It's called Regaling Regalia.
Is it a newer article?
It was the article that brought out the Polaris. That was like the introduction to Polaris.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
They
The
say
answer though
unfortunately.
is unfortunately
no.
B. It was the one that nobody mentioned. So the clue here is that as mentioned before, Luxera tells Proxia of all of these stories that she went on, and Proxia then uses her imagination to create what we say dream weave these objects into reality. So
Oh,
Proxia
right.
is the god of imagination and possesses the ability to dreamweave objects based off of legends and heroes. So that is our lore question. Are you ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Alrighty. But to be fair, 2 for 3 is still
It's
pretty
still
good.
very good.
10 play math for chats, 5
Heck
more than
yeah.
the previous duo. Alrighty.
Okay, this is
question.
missing an answer. This is missing an answer. The reason
All right.
Crystalline Patrol is so cool is because he's Andy K. That's the
Okay,
real
yeah.
answer.
Question 9. Which of the following is not a reason why Crystalline Patrol is so cool? A. He has a really big shield. B. He gets a buff counter when he becomes fostered. C. While he's fostered, he has bigger. Or D. He's patrolling the crystalline runes. Or E. He's not Andy K.
But remember, this is not a reason. So that's the key word here. Not.
I think he got a buff counter, did he? I think he just got +1 attack, right?
After Foster? Foster?
Think of what Crystalline Patrol does.
Mm,
I'm gonna be really sad if it's D and I get lore diffed on that. He's actually just abandoning all of the Crystalline runes.
I don't know about this lore.
Alright, well, chat is screaming C at the top of their lungs. Although there is one over there with a B.
A couple
Prep
D's
Trigger
and
Gaming.
B's. Yeah,
Chat is
yeah, a
screaming for
couple mixed.
See?
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely becomes fostered, so one of these is probably incorrect. I think it's class bonus foster, but I don't know what the effect is.
This bigger or not. But
Do we trust chat?
yeah, we trust chat.
Yeah.
Always trust the
Okay,
chat.
okay. If you guys trust chat, I trust chat. So chat's saying C, right?
Alrighty,
Yeah.
so Triple T trusts. Who's a random name in here? Luxera's
Yes.
not said C.
Oh, look
It's correct
answer.
for
Everyone
chat.
can do that.
Luxera's map would never lead a Luxem player's heart astray. Feels good, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, and a little bit of flavor there. Crystalline Patrol has Steadfast while he's fostered.
Mm. Alrighty.
Thank you,
Last-
chat. You saved us.
Last
you, chat.
question for you
Alright.
guys. We have another lore question. I picked this one especially for the Sparkle sisters here. We have question 10. Amid the chaos of war that gripped Sangul, romance found a way to bloom in the unlikeliest of places. Even Jun fell in love. Who was his romantic interest? We have A. Kong Ming, B. Liu Bei, C. Zhang Liao, or D. Xia Chao.
Wait, it's not Dongzhou.
Yeah, it's
Not
Liu Bei.
dogs out. Dogs out. That's crazy.
It's ruined for me.
You're telling me it's
Yeah.
not Seiryu?
That's true. Yeah, it's B Liu Bei.
B. Liu Bei, is that final answer? Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah, because you told us last year on the stream.
Yeah.
I was there in person with you when you said it, so I do remember that one.
Right?
Oh, remembers. Oh my goodness. The answer is correct. It is B. Liu Bei. I'm glad you were paying attention. Jin and Liu Bei met on the battlefield of the Golden Sashes.
Real
so
fan.
they had their disagreements. Ultimately, two were married and even had a child.
Whoa, is the child
Who's
immortal?
the child?
Good to know. Good to keep that in mind. Who knows?
Level
Maybe
1
one day.
immortality.
All right,
Yeah,
but
maybe the-
because we have hit our questions,
yeah.
5 questions. We have a surprise for you as well. We have a spoiler. You guys ready for your spoiler?
Ooh.
Cleric.
Whoa, holy
Jeez.
moly.
What?
That's
Oh my god, Loris.
kind of good.
No more cleric negate.
Yeah, we have
Okay.
Regal Expulsion. It is an action cleric spell reaction and negates target card activation if that card was activated from a material deck at fast
That's-
speed.
Even I
Cleric
know
spell
those
reaction
words.
is scary. Diao-chan is scary.
The Polaris is negate and
My
Vanitas.
shadow skull.
oh no.
Body toss level 3. Doramegia's call.
Yeah,
If anyone
got a
plays
lot of
Tony.
options. Yep, but
lot of
that's your spoiler.
that's your
I hope.
spoiler.
What do you guys think? Are
Is
you
that
guys, I
Naya?
mean, it seems like you guys are pretty excited, or maybe not excited,
He's
upset.
excited.
Well, wait.
Yeah,
Is that
I believe
Naya
it's
on there?
Naya. Yes, it is.
That's a good art. All right, Lineage
Oh,
Break
wow.
Cam, buying 4 foils of these guys. I got you, Cam.
Alrighty. Well,
Awesome.
thank you so much for joining us today. It's always good to see. I love the content you guys are putting out, Sparkle Sisters. The blogs are amazing. And of course, Tyler, hope to see you commentating in the near future here soon.
Yeah, really excited to see more
but
from
thank
you
They
guys.
have won the chat 20 plates.
Heck yeah!
Thank you so much.
They got 4 correct.
Yeah, so 20 play match. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for your time and looking forward to your content. Everyone go subscribe to all the lovely creators we've had so far. And well, we'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
All soon. Alrighty, and then
All right, on to
Alrighty.
our next group.
who's our next duo?
Here we'll be having main deck and lineage break, speaking of, coming on very soon here.
Alrighty, and this I believe is our last and final duo for the night.
We're at 25 total play mats.
Yeah.
Yep. Very exciting.
Very exciting.
25 lucky people, and maybe more.
And maybe more. Maybe
it'll be 30.
Maybe they sweep.
I believe.
I believe.
Yeah.
Yep. But before we bring in our next duo chat, thank you so much for joining us. We are at almost 1,000. Actually, I think we are at 1,000 viewers right now.
Wow.
Watching
Holy
this stream.
moly.
And don't forget
That's a lot
to
of
keep
people.
staying tuned because the dev team will return for more special announcements and spoilers.
Yeah, you get to see lots of really exciting things
Yeah.
that they're going to be showing us today. So I'm really looking forward to all the cool announcements. It's been just really cool to just be here and to see the community be really excited
Yeah,
about things.
It's super cool. Alrighty.
We got everybody. We got the whole crew here
whole
this time.
crew.
We cannot hear them yet, I don't think. If someone could mic test for us really quick.
Yep.
Hello.
There we go.
Oh yeah,
All
we
right.
can hear them. Awesome, perfect. If you guys could introduce yourselves from left to right, so that would be Cam first, then Steve, then the main deck. We have main deck Dan, and then Taylor. Sorry, we just had Tyler. I had to correct myself in my mind, and I picked the wrong one. Okay, no. If you guys could introduce yourselves.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Lineage Break, a Grand Archive TCG
sounds
podcast.
like the real
I
thing.
am your
Oh my
host,
God.
Cam. With me, as
Oh my
always,
God.
is my
Are we on
co-host,
Lineage
Trusty Steve.
Hi, Cam.
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Doing all right. How are you guys?
It sounds like the podcast. It's not even Friday. Friday morning. Okay.
Is it our turn now?
Come on,
Great,
Dan.
great, thank you. Okay, Dan, if you could take it
Welcome,
away.
everyone, to
Oh,
another
just
episode
like
of
it.
Recollection Step, a Grand Archive TCG podcast, part of the Main Deck podcast family. I'm Dan.
And I'm Taylor. Dan, what have you been playing lately?
Oh my God,
Grand Archive, baby. I love Grand
Finally,
Archive.
excellent. Good job.
this is just like my
I played a
weekly.
Tristan deck last week. It was a
My
lot of
weekly
fun.
streams. Oh my God,
All right,
hearing
we'll
it
just stop
live.
talking.
That's crazy.
You guys
Yeah.
take over the stream
I mean,
now.
we're huge fans of
Yeah.
of the podcast and
Huge fans of the
definitely
podcast.
look forward to them all the time. So very excited to have you guys all here. Thank you guys for being
Well, thank you for joining us today for second
Super
anniversary Grand
excited.
Archive TCG Trivia, where you will win chat 5 playmats for every question you get right. No
So that's
pressure.
25 total. Let's do it.
25 total. You
go.
could potentially double the count right here.
All right, I
now.
believe our first question is
Alrighty, question 11 to the podcasters. In Fractured Crown booster packs, cards from the subset Fractured Crown armaments could be found. Which of the following cards was not in the FTCA subset? A. Endura, Scepter of Ignition. B. Surveillance Stone. C. Mana Limiter. Or D. Poisoned Coating Oil.
Folks, I believe that should be Endura, right? Because Endura was printed as a promo in the Kickstarter. I don't think they put it in armaments.
Yeah, it was a Kickstarter foil. We spent most of our time in the first 2 segments complaining about how easy the questions were for the people that came before us. So I'm glad that this one is also seemingly very easy, unless we mess it up and look real foolish. But yeah, I
Yeah, but
think
you
it's-
guys do have time to discuss and announce yourself, but I will let
I
you
think
know
we're-
that chat
Yeah,
is
I think we're
spamming
gonna
D.
move
Well,
Okay. What about you,
I
Taylor?
thought
What do you think?
I thought Enduro was actually printed in
Was it?
FTCA. There was like a weird one in there.
So,
I know
for sure,
Surveillance
I know.
Stone and
for sure.
Coating Oil were printed for sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
own
So-
both of those cards.
and Mana Limiter is terrible, so nobody's ever played it.
That's
I
why
have
I
played
can't
it.
remember if it was printed in there or not.
I played it in the Store Champs I won.
Was it armament foil?
Okay, Dan.
No,
That was before
no.
FTC.
That was before I could. That was when
Oh,
I could win
no.
anything. Now I can't. Everyone's too good now.
So Endura does come Kickstarter foil, and it was one of the starter deck only cards, right? But that doesn't mean that it necessarily didn't get.
I think those are two reasons why it wouldn't be in the armaments list, though,
Yeah.
potentially, right?
I think
Because like they didn't
Well,
put
was-
Clarent in, right? Clarent isn't in.
Yeah,
a,
no Clarent,
No, there's no Clarent.
Blinding Orb, right?
I feel like they would do
Or,
both of them.
Choking
Well,
Fume Feather.
Lots of
Manual Armor
A's
was
and
not a
D's in
rare,
chat.
right?
If you guys need the chat help, A's and D's we have.
That is helpful.
Well,
'cause it's
let's trust
certainly not-
chat then. It's got to
Yep,
be.
yep,
A.
yep. There's
It's gotta
also
be A.
I think
spamming
it's
of the
A.
no. All these,
A?
yep.
Is that your
I think
final
it's A.
answer,
I
team?
think it-
Yeah, I feel good about it.
Alrighty.
Final
Yep,
answer.
A is good.
The
Is good.
answer is
It is D.
Oh,
Whoa.
Poison.
You could have said you
Coating.
had it.
Oh.
I thought I. Do I just have
Check
a
your
so
collection. Check your binders.
I might just have
I
a
liked
foil.
how I liked how
that's
Cam was
wow.
like, it's definitely A, and if it's not, we're gonna look really stupid.
Yep.
So,
We're gonna look real
and-
stupid. That's our job, everybody.
I feel like you jinxed yourself
And for
there.
any new
Will.
Grand Archive players just joining us, cards in the FECA subset were printed with a
I guess
special
what I have is
process
just foil.
similar to cold foiling called Quicksilver foiling. The Quicksilver rarity, for the people who have come after FTC, it's a different type of printing, hasn't been seen since.
Yeah, I love that printing too. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
Wow, I can't believe we got that wrong.
Now
I
that
swear I thought that.
you've
Alright.
been humbled a little bit.
You've been humbled.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I blame Lineage Break for everything.
Me too. Me too.
Humbling experience. It's okay because now the expectations have been set. It's not as easy as you thought, is it? So we're gonna go
Let's
into
get to the
question
next one.
12.
Yeah. Wait, yeah. What, Cam? What were you saying again at the start of that
No,
question?
don't worry about it.
We have question 12. Which of the following cards is not included in Glenn Williams' Glenny Boys World 2024 Championship winning decklist and sideboard? We have A, Sparklight, B, Tether in Flames, C, Sudden Steel, or D, Vanish from Sight. And I'm sure everyone knows it is a Merlin deck
Yep.
that he won with.
And no pressure, but both members have a world's commentator on their team.
Ooh, they should
true.
know the answer to this one
Cam
then.
and Dan.
I had the pleasure. I had the
So-
pleasure of casting both of Glenny's games on stream that weekend.
Mhm.
And I definitely can tell you, Tether was a big
Yep.
discussion that weekend. I'm
And
pretty sure Tether was
we
in
can
there.
also say that
Sparklight-
Glenn himself is in the chat. The World Championship, everybody, is in the
Oh
chat.
yeah. Okay. All right. I can't let Glenny down. I can't
Yeah.
let Glenny down. Sparklight was also in his list, guaranteed. Sudden Steel was really popular in Merlin at the time. I'm pretty sure that's there. I Vanish from Sight's the one that doesn't make sense to me. I don't think Vanish was in the list.
Yeah, I think I remember him playing Sudden Steel, and Vanish is like weird for that format because a lot of people were expecting like Luxem Xander and Arcane Rye, right? So it wasn't really a ally-centric format. So I think D looks pretty good.
In fact, I think he played Tether in the finals. I think I remember that. So I'm pretty sure it's D. I would go with D. I'd love to hear what
Gotta be
Taylor.
D.
Yep.
Definitely.
gonna
D.
trust-
Chat,
I'm gonna
chat
trust
seems
Taylor.
to.
Taylor's our resident Merlin expert as well. He
True.
says it's
Yeah.
D.
I'm gonna trust
If I could-
exactly that.
All right, chat spamming D. There's a little bit of C's in there.
Yeah, we got mostly C's and D's in chat, but very heavy on the D.
It's D. Final answer.
Alrighty.
Final
D,
answer.
Final answer from Main Deck Dan,
Who was the caster?
who was the caster for the grand finals.
And
Oh,
Unfortunately, correct.
Dan,
The
what is-
answer
what is
was
going on?
C,
You know what? I should stop talking.
Steel.
Glenny, why didn't you play Sudden Steel?
I'm glad that not there was two of us that were very sure of a wrong answer.
Ugh.
Taylor,
blame
you're in
Main Deck
charge
for
of
everything.
everything now. Sorry, I'm out.
the
It's all right.
fun
We'll,
fact
we'll
though,
rebound.
I do think that is really interesting is that he did have a Sparklight in his main board, but there was only one copy. So that was actually supposed to be the red herring, but none of you guys mentioned Sparklight actually.
Oh. That was a long time ago. All right.
He is also surprised.
Where's the
Oh,
lore?
apparently Glenny is surprised in chat as well. So you know what? Everyone learned something today, and we did check the deck list. So yeah, interesting.
Oh, he said it no HD.
All right, next question though. They still have a chance to redeem themselves. Oh, we have a lore question. So I'm
There we
looking at
go.
you, trusty Steve. How are you truly trusty Let's see if you know your lore. We have question 13. Known for her antics across different worlds and for constantly pestering her best friend Proxia, what does Luxera represent as a god? We have A, treasures, B, adventure, C, exploration, or D, maps.
That's tough.
Steve?
I believe it's exploration.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close between B and C.
Yeah.
She's sort of known for like world hopping and exploring new places, but also has that sort of like adventurous spirit. So like those two words are like way too close for me to feel super confident.
I believe it's C.
She has the map though.
That is true.
She does.
She did have.
I just want to throw that out there.
She does. She did.
Don't
have
listen to Taylor. He's trying to lead you astray.
She did have the map. She dropped it
did
a
lose the
long
map.
time ago.
Yeah, that's tough. It's either C or B. We had a very famous moment on the holiday stream where I disagreed with Steve on trivia, and I haven't been able to live it down since.
This is correct.
So I'm completely in your hands.
I'm going to say C. Do one of you main deck guys have a
No
responses?
It's
I
all up to
agree.
Taylor.
It's probably C as well. I did read the Proxia and Luxera article that was a while ago. But yeah, I think it's C.
If there are members of the chat spamming C.
We have some
see
B's as
sprinkles
well.
of B in there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Definitely
so
one of those
locking,
two.
Are you locking in C for your answer?
I think we're locking in C.
Let's lock it in. Yep.
Alrighty.
All right. The answer is.
Oh my God.
No way. No way.
So Luxera is the god of treasure, and she's known for hunting artifacts across different worlds, often at the expense of her own party members. So the other ones were red herrings. No one picked maps. She got a map in it. Taylor's right. She has a map.
She lost the map.
You're right. She
All
did
right.
lose the map.
Well,
Okay.
Taylor, it's your
Lose the
turn to
map.
be
He
wrong now.
Gave it away. I believe.
Ooh, all right. Yeah, don't worry.
have-
I can definitely get this next question wrong.
This next one's radio silence. Taylor takes it completely, right, guys?
Yep.
We're-
You have two more questions.
Two more questions. So it's possible to turn it all around.
Yeah, turn
here.
it all around right here for chat. These
For
are your
chat.
subscribers.
You're
I'm
loyal
O3
fans.
drop. I'm O3 drop, everyone. We're gone.
All right, our next question.
Alrighty, question 14, nice and simple. What type of weapon is Arsenal Keeper holding? A, sword, B, hammer, mallet, C, axe, or D, flail?
I feel so
Arsenal
confident
Keeper.
that Taylor knows the answer to this question. I
Taylor's
feel
got this. Taylor
is-
plays Arsenal Keeper every week.
Okay, so you're joking about this, but I was literally just looking at Arsenal Keeper because she's a warrior and has warrior class bonus because Clarent, right? Clarent Reimagined.
Okay, so what is she holding?
But of course, I didn't look at the art because I was concerned about the text box.
You could tell that she was a
Honestly,
girl. You looked at the art to some degree.
If he was too confident, the caption would be wrong right away.
True,
yeah,
true,
you gotta be
true.
a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
I want to say it's either B or D. It's not A. I'm pretty sure it's not A.
Chat
but
is
it was
mostly
like
going for B or C. We have lots of B's
I
and
don't
C's
think
in
it's
chat.
C. I feel like she's not going to be an axe. There's so few that wield axes in here in this game.
Yeah. I mean, all the axes were like in water with.
I like hammer.
Yeah, I like hammer.
I like B. Hammer sounds good. I think it's hammer time.
As a
Hammer
hammer main
time.
and monster hunter, I go with hammer as well.
Let's go B.
Nice. Lock it in.
B? Are we locked
All right,
in?
Taylor's locking it. Taylor's on the line. For
Alrighty,
this.
Taylor is locking B for question 14, and the answer is C. It's axe. I think you guys need to just mute Dan.
I'll just mute myself.
Yeah. See you later, Dan.
The mute icon came up too.
It's just
If
a little bit-
anything, we're confident in being wrong.
Absolutely.
Okay,
You know,
and
we-
to get every
this
question
question's in
wrong,
the
can we just flip it?
No. I believe
It's called Shoot the Moon.
because the last question I picked specifically for you all. I picked the last one
perfect.
for you all specifically, and I believe and I trust.
That's a lot of pressure.
Trusty Steve is here. The trust is here. I believe you guys can turn it
Alrighty.
around with this last question.
Well, Belle believes.
Should we
in
can we go
podcast
all? Can we
retreat.
go all or nothing on the last question? Can we let them all or nothing it?
You know what? I'm gonna
Let's do it.
say.
Okay, if you guys can get it right, it'll be worth 2. So you'll get 10 playmats if you guys can get this right for the chat here. Here we go. The last question. What is the flavor text of Ordinary Horse? Is it A, there's nothing that special about it, it's just a horse? Is it B, it's not that special, it's just a horse? Is it C, nothing about it seems special, it's just a horse? Or is it D, there's nothing special about it, it's just a horse that knows advanced calculus and files its own taxes?
That D one's looking a little spicy.
I feel like it might be
It
D.
should be D.
Yeah.
It should be D.
It should be
Should be
D.
D.
It is not D.
I,
It's not D though,
I
unfortunately.
think it is A. It's definitely A or B, but I'm pretty sure it's A.
My first instinct was A as well.
I believe it is A.
I don't even want to give you my opinion on this.
Well, you could give us your opinion so we would know what not to choose. Do you feel like?
Okay,
True.
it's definitely D. They have taxes in Sangwo. And
They do.
no.
They do.
hmm
Yeah, that
I believe
domain.
it is.
Yep.
I think it's A. Yeah, I believe it is. It is A. I think we're all pretty confident on that one.
All right. Is
Which is
A
a perfect
final
recipe for
answer?
disaster.
A, your final answer.
D, D, D.
No, A, final answer. Don't let Dan get in here.
Alrighty, the answer is you did it. It is A.
Hey.
Come on, 10 playmats for chat. And our fun
Nice.
fact is that did you know horses physically cannot vomit or burp?
Didn't know that.
Fun fact.
No,
Can they do taxes?
apparently.
Yeah, I
Apparently,
heard.
Yeah. The ordinary
heard
horse can. All right, you guys ready for your spoiler?
There's so many cleric
Yes.
cards so far.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the one non-cleric card. It's gonna go crazy.
For Cam? Cam gets the only
Spec-
non-cleric card.
Specifically, we're spoiling a Cam hate card here, so it's absolutely not
that's
not Cam related
No.
at all. It is
Oh,
Decompose,
all right.
an action
Yes.
cleric spell. As an additional cost to activate this card, sacrifice an ally, gather X times, where X is the sacrificed ally's life stat. It is a fast
pretty cool.
speed activation card.
Fast.
Foraging
speed.
Serpent is playable. Let's go.
I know. That's actually.
No!
Yeah.
Let's go!
Another 3 times. This looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
A lot
This
of
is
new
kinda sweet.
other stuff in Alter looks like.
Yeah.
For
I
that new
love-
Arizona we're gonna see later, right?
Yeah.
Right, chat. Right?
New Arizona, new Tony.
I
Right,
love
right,
it. I love
yeah.
a fast speed sacrifice effect is always so juicy when you have stuff that your opponent actually wants to get rid of and you can just get free value.
Yeah, this is
I'm
sweet.
here for this.
Yeah.
Buying
I-
foils, like Tyler said.
excited to see you guys excited. And thank you
Yeah.
guys so much
Yeah,
for
no. Thank you for
being
joining
here.
us.
Yeah,
Don't
and for the
forget
amazing
to like and
content.
subscribe to their channels
Yes.
here, Lineage Break and Main Deck
Yeah,
channel.
you can tell we know a lot about Grand Archive.
They know an incredible amount of Grand Archive. You should follow them for their informational content.
Sorry, chat.
But in all
Thanks for having
seriousness,
us.
thank you for everything you do for the community, and thank you for joining us on the 2-year anniversary stream.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you for
Thanks
having us.
Alrighty, and I think that is the tail end, or the last group of content creators for today.
How many total
Yeah,
playmats?
but can we
is
get a
that?
final count of the playmats given away on this trivia?
We're getting a count right
Yeah,
now,
we're
but
getting a count
until
right
then,
now.
everyone should definitely go subscribe and check out all of those awesome content creators that we just saw today. They
Yep.
all make really, really, really high quality, amazing content regularly.
Alrighty, we got the final count in.
Oh, perfect.
There is 40 playmats being given away.
Wow,
to
that's
chat.
a lot of playmats.
That's a lot of playmats. A lot
Yeah.
of lost in thought playmats. The most sought after playmat and all of the exclusive Ascent, playmats.
And we will announce how you can enter to win the giveaway playmats later in the stream. Not right now. We're still setting that up. So we'll get that information for you very soon.
Yeah, but alright, chat.
Yeah.
I think we are wrapping up now. This is the. Oh.
We're going to take a 5-minute
Yeah, we're
break
gonna take
to
a
set
5-minute
up.
break. This is the last time I will see you all. You will see Belle a little bit later. But don't forget to stay tuned as we are now joining Shinja and lead game designer Silidar for the Mercurial Heart Alter
MRC
section
Alter
of this.
spoilers.
Alter spoilers. And even after that, you will join all 3 members of the dev team today for special announcements. So keep staying tuned and appreciate everyone who are still tuned in. The chat.
Do we have the Q? We're gonna be having a Q&A form going up very soon. We'll pin it in chat, so you guys, if you have any Q&A questions for the dev team, we will be answering those at the end. So start thinking about what questions you might want to ask. We'll pin those in chat very soon, so you can submit some questions that we can answer at the end.
But thank you, everybody, and we will return in 5 minutes.
All right, see you guys.
Welcome back, everyone. I am here with the man himself. We have Silidar here.
Hello.
How are you, man? How are you doing? That was good. You know, I was watching the trivia.
MVP main deck ban.
We obviously have to trust main deck for all the questions about GA. He knows everything.
True.
All right. So, we just finished up with our community segments. Again, huge shout out to Limelight from Creative Shock, Valkyrie, the Sparkle Sisters, Once in Love from Serene Balance Productions. Then we had Steve, Cam, Dan, and Taylor from Lineage Break and Main Deck. But we're going to the exciting stuff.
Yeah, so with Mercurial Heart Ultra Edition coming out in May 30th, right?
Yeah, end of the month.
That's like a month away. Actually, it's like 4 weeks away, right?
29 days.
We're gonna go ahead and spoil all the cards in Ultra Edition.
Right now?
Right now, yeah. So in the upcoming slides, we're gonna show all the cards in MRC Alter, the new ultra rare alternative arts, and also the CSRs. Even if they were spoiled before, it will be included just for like prosperity, for those green,
just in case.
Yeah, just
have it. Yeah, yeah.
So we'll talk about those too. Yeah, it's
exciting.
Yep. Spoiling a bit earlier compared to other sets because some people are already done with their nationals grind for their region, so maybe they want to start, practicing a bit earlier for a world's team event, or maybe they are already qualified through nationals and they want to practice for the actual world championship.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So or the gauntlet. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead. Go ahead. First card is Baby Silver Slime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this card is a 2-cost 1/1. Tamer Animal Slime. As long as you control another slime ally, Baby Silver Slime has taunt. And it has on death, you may reveal a slime card from your hand or memory. If you do, draw a card.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and the flavor text is an invasive species, often mistaken for...
That flavor's pretty good. So this is so this is like the direct replacement to Baby Gray. I would assume.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this card will be replacing Baby Gray Slime in the Sylvie recollection, but you can also find it as an uncommon in booster packs of Mercurial Heart Alternate.
Sweet.
Next card we have Vanguard's Reversal. It's a attack Guardian Sword card. 5 cost, 5 power, and class bonus. As long as your champion has taunt, this card costs 3 less to activate.
Okay. All right. So the level 1 Tenora's play.
Yep. So instead of using Tenora's 1 as a taunt and it feels kind of wasted because maybe you didn't need the taunt right away, you can now get a huge discount on this 5 power attack.
Yeah, and I know that Guardian already has a few cards that gives yourself taunt and stuff.
Yeah,
so this would be a good like combo play, roughly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, and then next card we have Tend the Land. This was revealed at Ascent Kuala Lumpur. 3 cost, cleric skill, slow, but if you're a cleric, it has fast activation. And you just gather and draw a card. Very Surveil the Winds-esque card for
yeah.
Alright, moving on. Next card we have Shield Fragmentation. It's a 2-cost Guardian skill. You can sacrifice a shield as an additional cost, and if you do, you deal 4 damage to target unit.
Throw the shield.
Yep, and notably this is a skill, and it's also fast.
It's like a fast, pleasing throw.
Yep.
That's pretty good. But for shields.
Yeah. Next is a Scathing Seminary. We showed this off to
I think the first group, so it should be Lime and Bach.
Yeah. Balance on enter as a spell. If the amount of cards in your hand and memory are equal, deal 2 unpreventable damage to target unit. It's a 2-cost, 2/1 cleric human. So this is a balance card. So with the 2-cost, you need to have a hand size of 5 if you're reserving cards from your hand to pay for this and get the on enter. If you are able to do that, it is 2-cost, deal 4. a very good rate for aggro burn down.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because typically when so far we've seen balance on most notably Gildas, and usually that's like a 7-card hand is generally like the sweet spot that you kind of want to be at. So this is gonna be interesting because it doesn't really easily fit into that kind of strategy, and you might have to kind of play around a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of strategies might come out of this.
Yeah, we're starting to design aggro cards more into the low influence strategy, like you can see with cards like Rococo. They're supposed to be very explosive, very fast, but if you are able to interact with that strategy, they should have a harder time recovering due to their low. Right, moving on, we have a Neos card, Radiant Repudiation. It's a 2-cost Guardian skill reaction. Prevent the next 4 damage that will be dealt to target Neos element unit this turn. Whenever damage is prevented that way, deal 2 damage to target unit. It's a generic card. It doesn't have any class bonus on it, but currently we only have one champion, which is Neos champion. It's similar to a Searing Rebuke in a way.
Yeah. Okay. This is pretty good.
Moving on, we have a new card type, or it's not a new card type, it's a new subtype with a new keyword actually. It's called Eternal Directive. It's an attack warrior automaton command card. 2 costs with 3 power, and it has the keyword command automaton. What this means is you play this attack card, and instead of resting your champion to pay as a cost, you have to rest an awake automaton ally you control.
Gotcha.
And then this card enters their intent, and it attacks with this attack card.
Gotcha. So if I had it doesn't matter, any automaton, and you play this, you're attacking basically through them.
Yes.
And they're the one doing this.
Yeah. So if it's like a 3-power automaton and you're playing Eternal Directive, it has on attack put a buff counter on the attacker, so it'll put a buff counter on that automaton and swings for 3 more power because the attack card itself has 3.
So if the automaton had 3 power, it'll be 3 + 3 + 1 now because of the
it will be a 7 damage.
And I would also assume if you do not have a automaton, you cannot play this card?
You cannot play it because you need to have an awake attacker that is what it's commanding. It specifically asks for automaton. Also, in addition, if you had 2 automatons, unlike a regular attack card where you can only use once per turn usually, you can use 1 for one automaton and 1 for another automaton.
As long as you have 1 awake and you fulfill the condition, you can just
exactly.
Got it.
All right. Next we have Duramesian Foundry. We showed this off as a Sent KL. It's 8-cost domain that could get reduced to 2 costs depending on how many domains you control. And it summons an automaton drone token with a buff counter on it. What's cool with this card is you can smash with Obelisk for like 14. And it's good for maybe potential like domain decks like EK.
Yeah.
Next card we have another automaton command card called Charge Directive. As on attack, summon a power cell token rested, then each opponent banishes X cards from their graveyard, where X is the amount of power cells you control. And it has 2 power for 2 reserve.
So it's funny because I just made a pretty meme like DOA to Norris that had a bunch of power cells just so because I wanted to draw.
Yeah.
This card's kind of good.
Yeah. I mean, even if you're not playing against an opponent that cares much about their graveyard, you're at least getting a 2 damage buff on your ally, and getting a power cell.
Yeah.
One thing to note with these command cards, they are a lot more risky than regular attack cards because if your ally dies in the middle of the swing, you lose both the ally power value and the command card.
Right.
It's a lot more risky than swinging with your champion in that regard. All right, next we have Windblast Lookout.
Ooh.
It's a 2-cost 1/3 assassin human with on enter put a preparation counter on your champion, and on enter glimpse 1 as a class bonus. What is that card similar to?
I feel like I've seen one of these cards before. But it's a pretty good card. Yeah, but it's very familiar.
Very familiar.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we don't need to talk much about that.
Yeah,
I think it's just a card for Wind Assassin.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it, but I think it's very like deja vu. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, look out for this. Yeah.
Have a positive outlook.
Yeah. All right, and the last uncommon is Armed and Dangerous. It's a 3-cost action ranger skill.
Oh my god, it's full.
And draw a card for each of up to 2 gun weapons you control. So if you have 1 gun, you draw 1 card. And if you have 2 guns, draw 2 cards.
Dude, Diana's so back.
It's Pocock is doing push-ups. He's working on himself. All right. Next, we're gonna start with the rares. The first card we've already seen, called Regal Explosion. I saw some people reading or interpreting this card wrong in chat when we exploded it. So it's a 2-cost cleric spell reaction, fast, obviously. Negate target card activation if that card was activated from a material deck.
Yeah.
Do you know how that works?
Yeah, so I would say anything with I believe an alternate cost typically. So like Tomb of Sacred Lightning and those kind of stuff where you're just main phase, bringing it out.
Yeah. Like something that lets you skip a materialization is usually an activation. Tome of Sacred Lightning, Polaris,
the most notable one that I know of is I activate Venice level 3 because they got it free for some reason, and
that counts as a card that was activated. Now, if you are scared of this card, all you have to do is not activate it, just materialize it. Right? Yeah. You can still do that with all cards that have an activation condition. You can still like hard materialize it, and it can no longer be targeted by Regal Explosion.
And it's also can't work against, for example, something that comes out of Quicksilver Grail.
Correct, because that would just be material.
Sweet.
Yeah. And it also works for Shadow's Claw. Yeah. Next we have Throne Sentinel. This was revealed at Ascent KL. 2 cost 0/4 with hindered taunt. Funnily enough, I think some people said that they couldn't see the life stat of the card from the stream. So for people that don't know, it's a 4 life ally. Hindered taunt. On enter, token allies you control get +1 power until end of turn, and if you control 3 or more tokens, wake up Throne Sentinel. The 3 or more tokens doesn't care if it's an ally token.
Yeah, so the 3 domains from Tenoris, for example, would count.
Yeah, would count. And then you can pay 2 and rest it to give your champion Spell Shroud until then.
Great.
All right, next we have a new card for Astro.
Oh.
Now you can't see this the stat, but it's a 2-cost 1/3 Assassin Cleric Automaton with class bonus. Whenever you glimpse any amount, Moonveil Android gains stealth until end of turn.
This card's crazy!
And whenever you negate a card activation an opponent controls, put 2 buff counters on it.
Card's kind of crazy.
So it starts very slow, but once you get negate even once, it becomes a 3/5 and potentially a 5/7. And you can, as long as you can keep glimpsing, it keeps protecting itself.
This card's kind of nuts, huh? This card's crazy.
You can see how this card blends the identity of both cleric and assassin.
Yeah.
Right. Next we have Decompose. We gave this card to main deck and Lineage Break. As a additional cost to activate this card, sacrifice an ally and gather X times, where X is that ally's life stat. 2 costs fast. So if an ally is being targeted for an attack, you can sack it in response and gather a lot. It's good with cards that have value when they die, like, you know, what's card the 1/2 floating that gather. I forget, but it's also good with high life stat allies like Gildas. Like, if you sacrifice a Gildas, you gather 8 times.
It's a lot of gathering.
That could be 4 draws with Arsana level 2.
It could be
in like across like 4 turns.
It could be. Yeah.
Next we have Counter Interference, another automaton support card. 2-cost Cleric Automaton skill reaction, fast. Negate target trigger or action card activation that targets an automaton ally you control.
Oh, okay.
Then you may sacrifice a power cell, and if you do, draw a card. Yeah, so it can negate a trigger or an activation that is an action card.
Yeah.
So there's only really one thing that it can't negate, and that is ability activation. So you can negate Dream Fairy triggers, notably. You can negate, you know, card activations that, you know, deal damage to your automaton. As long as it targets an automaton ally, most things it will be able to negate. And then you can sacrifice a power cell if you want, if you do. And that was our last rare for the MRC Ultra. Now we're going to go into our super rares. There are only 3 of them this set. First we have Volda Smolder's Spite. Oh, just kidding. I skipped the slide.
What the?
There are 2 more rares.
Wouldn't be the same.
Wouldn't be a stream.
There are 2 more rares. There's
these
one
important?
3-cost 3/4 Furnace Drone, Guardian Automaton. As an additional cost to activate it, you have to banish 3 fire element and/or automaton cards from your graveyard.
Okay.
What that means is you can banish 2 fire cards and 1 like norm automaton. That makes sense.
Banish 3 fire element and or automaton cards.
Yeah. So they don't have to be all fire. They don't have to be all automaton.
It can be any combination.
Yeah, any combination of it. It has taunt and class bonus on death. Deal 3 damage to target champion.
Okay. 3/4.
Yep. Right.
It's pretty hot.
Next
drone.
card we have Accursed Strength.
Diana's back.
This card is I think might be confusing. I'm gonna have you try to explain it. So 2-cost Ranger spell. It has Diana bonus. Costs 1 less to activate and it's fast.
Okay.
Draw 3 plus X cards, where X is the amount of cursed cards in your champion's lineage minus your influence.
Draw 3 plus X, where X is the amount of cursed cards in your lineage minus your influence. Okay. Well, if basic math has taught me anything in school, you're gonna draw 3 cards as a base. And then you have an X value. So if you had, for example, 0 cards in lineage, or 0 cursed cards in lineage, and you have 3 cards. Yeah, 3 cards in as your influence. It'll be 0 minus 3, so you're -3.
Yep.
So when you resolve this card, you would draw 0.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. All right. I can do that. I got it. Okay. Cool. Easy.
So how does this card work?
Okay.
In layman's terms.
In layman's terms, it's basically you are, actually, you just draw cards based on how many, like, the less influence you have, you draw more. I'm not a player, man.
Okay, so
I can read the card.
Basically, you draw cards until your influence is equal to 3 plus the amount of curse cards in your lineage.
Okay.
So if you had let's say you had 2 cards in hand, and you reserve 1 to play a Cursed Strength, you would draw 2 cards. Even if you had 0 curse cards in your lineage, you would draw up to 3, because your lineage was 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. If you had more curse cards in your lineage, you would draw more.
Okay.
Now, the reason why we typically like that is if we had actually draw cards until, the game could break with like effects such as Tide Proclamation. It's like, oh, the card is telling you to draw until, and then
But the Tide is telling you no.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just
so we
repeats
have to
that.
actually calculate the amount of cards being drawn beforehand.
Okay.
Before the instruction tells you to do so. Okay, so that was the last rare.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure, man?
All right, so Volda, Molder's Spite, is a unique ally cleric guardian automaton. She was actually featured in the art of Shield Fragmentation. It has level 2 plus fast activation. You may activate this card at fast speed, and the class bonus on enter. Until end of turn, damage dealt by fire element sources you control can't be prevented. And
That's crazy.
It's 1/3.
It's Varuk, but for an ally.
Yeah.
Though it only works on one turn, but
it only works for 1 turn.
Yeah.
And notably only for Guardian and Cleric. She may not look like it, but she is also an automaton.
Okay. Hector.
All right, next we have a Hector Praetorian Guard. Unique ally guarding human with Imbue 3. You know what Imbue does?
Yeah, so you gotta reveal your cards as you pay them.
Yeah.
But then, reveal is the wrong word for it. But like, if 3 of them are Neos, then you get whatever.
So
yeah.
this is one of the very rare cases where it's an advanced element imbue. It's a lot harder to achieve than basic element imbue. But when you do imbue it, it has on enter, summon 2 automaton drone tokens. So it's a 3 cost, almost 5/5 worth of stats. If you can imbue it, and it has a class bonus regardless if you imbue it or not. It has, if damage would be dealt to 1 or more non-token Neos element units you control, prevent X of that damage, where X is the amount of tokens you control. But you can only apply this once per turn. So it's like the first time this happens each turn, it will prevent. Now, it only prevents from non-token Neos element units, so if damage targets his face or Hector himself, you if it's the first time each turn, it would block that based on the amount of tokens.
Gotcha. Hector's kind of hot.
And the last new card for Mercurial Heart Alter Edition is Regalia for Diana. But punishing cartridge. It has renewable and rest to load into a gun. As on attack, you can discard up to 2 cards, then choose that many. And there's only 2 options, so if you discard 2 cards, you'll choose both. Change the target of this attack to another unit, and it gains on champion hit, that opponent sacrifices it. And notably, it has 2 power for 0 memory cost.
Wait, this card is, this bullet is cracked.
So, what's cool about it is that you can dodge, taunt, and intercept.
Yes.
Because you'll shoot the taunt or interceptor, and then you can discard a card, and then you can change it to any other target. So it's kind of like curving, like a bullet that's like has like a heat-seeking, basically.
Yeah.
And then if you want, you can give it on champion hit, that opponent sacrifices an ally, which does pair with Shadow Swim, which makes them sacrifice 2 allies.
This card is it's kind of cracked.
And also it's renewable, so you can keep doing it.
Dude, guys, Diana is so back. We're back.
Now you can also pair this with Accursed Strength, so you can respond to this. Try to get like low influence, so that you can draw more cards with Accursed Strength. Right, so that's all the super rare rares for the Mercurial Heart Alter Edition, the Alter slot. As a reminder, this is an Alter set, so there is going to be a Alter slot. I believe the last common is replaced by the Alter slot, so you'll be getting these cards exclusively in that slot. Just like a Chemical Revolution Alter Edition. Also in Alter Edition, we did new art for all the ultra rare cards, so we can go them pretty quickly. We have Vampiric Slime, Final Stroke, and Atmos Armor type Ares.
Wait, these are so nice. Eesh.
Then next we have Prima Materia.
Oh my.
Overlord MK3, and also Shadow's Claw. We also had UR Spirits back then, so we also did new art for that as well. Fragmented Spirit of Fire, Fragmented Spirit of Water, and Wind. Now the Fire one doesn't have the infamous typo, so if you want that, that's exclusive to first.
We gotta buy the first edition, guys.
Right, and then there's also one more, that's the Divine Relic Mercurial Heart.
Oh, that's cute. That's pretty good.
And then in the Mercurial Heart Alter Edition, there are 4 CSRs you can find.
Okay.
The first one is Golda.
Oh. He really doesn't look like Automaton, but...
and then Hector. So the 2 new unique allies in this set.
Wow, these are great.
You can find as collector super rares.
Sick.
And then the next 2 are reprints versus Bertha.
Okay. New art.
Featuring new art. Yep. Yeah. And then also Gloamspire Mantle.
Oh, I like the little doodle. That's so cute.
And so, as you know, a Mercurial Heart first edition was severely underprinted. So hopefully this new wave of product will make the set more accessible. There's like a lot of meta relevant cards such as all the Decrees, Backup Charger, a lot of the Tristan cards. So this will be releasing on May 30th, and the initial print run for the Alter Edition, there's 39,000 boxes.
Okay.
And it is reprintable.
Sweet.
So this is already like 50% more than our first edition print run, and it's reprintable. Starting from ALC Alter, by the way, our Alter print runs will be reprintable for up to 3 years after the Alter released.
Okay.
Where Dawn of Ashes Alter Edition was only
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. Okay. Going up one now, right?
Yeah, up one
Okay,
year.
I
And
see.
then also the recollection lights, there are 8,000 of each going out.
Okay. And these are also
reprintable
got
as
it.
long as the booster box that it's pairing with reprintable.
I see. So it's like together. So when MRC Alter is out of print 3 years from now, then the light edition will also go out of print.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's all you need to know about Mercurial Heart Alter Edition. Next, we have a lot of announcement regarding Worlds. So for now, I'm gonna kick you off.
Yep. I'm out of here, guys. So
And then I'm gonna invite Belle and Roger back on.
Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna have to bring a seat.
Yeah, we need a seat. We need a chair. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
While they're transitioning, I'm gonna catch up with chat a bit. Oh. Tristan is not an automaton. She has like a robotic arm.
Part.
How many viewers are?
Okay.
All right. Let's talk about some stuff that you guys already know first. First of all, the world's main event prize pool is 68,000 USD. You can see the pricing breakdown there.
A lot of money.
Yep. Currently, we have 6 players already qualified through our SEA Ascent and the E Ascent, and those players are. What do you want? Yeah, that. Steven, Jeff, Josh, Hanky, and Felix. Congratulations to these players.
Woo, congratulations!
And then also, players that qualified for Gauntlet are the ones listed here. Now, as a reminder, Gauntlet is a 32-player last chance qualifier for Worlds that happens. So, we didn't reveal many of the pricing for Worlds besides like the cash pricing. So, we do have 2 promotional cards for this tournament exclusively. The first one we want to show is Heavenly Guide.
Woo!
So, Worlds is a 32-player event. Heavenly Guide is going to be a prize card for the top 8 players. So you need to score basically in the top 25 percentile of those players. And when you do get one, you actually get 4. They all come as CR.
It's really, this is one of my favorite PR cards. It's like so beautiful. Love the art.
And then also the World's prize card itself. Last year we had the Apotheosis Right. This year we're going to have Sacramental Right. Almost said Sacramento. It's very similar to
Sacramento.
Apotheosis Right, where it's mimicking a Divine Relic's ability with the added text that your champion becomes an ascendant.
What does that mean?
No. See, there's some lore reason for sure, right?
Lore.
That's a Bell question, right?
You can go to the next slide. You want to talk about this one?
Yeah, I'm Taylor.
So for Worlds, as you guys know, Worlds does have an extra day than our typical Ascent schedules. So on day 0, that day 0 is the extra day, right? Or is this before?
So day 0 is Friday. So we're encouraging everyone to come like Thursday night if possible, so that they can enjoy the full day Friday, which is different from normal events where they start on Saturday.
Yeah. So day 0, we're gonna have a lot of cool events for you guys. So hopefully you guys can make it. In the morning, we are gonna have an opening ceremony, the World Championships Day 1 viewing, and we'll have some free play tables for you all. And throughout the rest of the day, you can register early for the events throughout the weekend. We have the merch store open. Very exciting, and you're gonna see some really cool, maybe sneak peeks for what's gonna be at the merch store very soon as well. We'll have lots of cool side events. Casino night. I know everyone wanted Vegas to happen again, and this time we're not in Vegas, we're in Anaheim. However, we're gonna bring Vegas to you. So what is Casino Night? We'll find out very, very soon, maybe. I don't know if it's gonna be on the stream, but you'll find out very soon what Casino Night is.
Probably not.
Probably not today, but soon.
All right. For Ascent Worlds, don't forget it's a 3v3 team standard event, which means your teammates cannot share. You basically share deck building limitations. And the prize card for that event is going to be Hanabi, Spirit of Fire. And the top 4 teams will, each member in the top 4 teams will get one of these. Also for Ascent Worlds, we're happy to announce that Dragon Shield and also BGS are official sponsors for the event.
Oh, thank you so much.
And we'll announce what that entails. Again, with Dragon Shield, last year they sponsored both the World's partners with both exclusive sleeves for the Mercurial deck and main deck, and as well as entry sleeves. And so again, they'll be sponsoring the same amount. We'll show off that render later, as you'll see. And then Beckett Grading, they kindly talked with us, engaged with us on special ways we can really promote Worlds with them together. And so we'll announce that partnership in a little bit more detail later. But yeah, thank you to both. Now, another big product, or a product that people are really excited for, that releases around the same time, is Supporter Pack 3. Now, normally we release Supporter Pack at Anime Expo, but because Worlds is so close to Anime Expo, and because basically everyone at Worlds would want to get their hands on Supporter Pack 3, we are deciding to premiere Supporter Pack 3 at Worlds. We're not ready to show you guys the art of or the packaging of the product yet, but we're going to show you the entire card list for you guys to prepare. Oh no. Okay, the blow.
Is that Trusty Steed? I was waiting for that reprint.
All right, so for those of you that don't know what Supporter Pack is, Roger, would you like to explain that? Yeah, so Supporter Pack was a product we launched during our year 1 as a way to say, hey, like, we want to build a collector unique product that gives reprints a little bit more accessibility that we can take to events, both Ascents and conventions, and we basically take the revenue that Supporter Pack generates and put it back into the organized play circuit. So many events from our first year, including Worlds, many of the Ascents, as well as a lot of the prizing and travel was funded through all the revenue from Supporter Pack 1 and Supporter Pack 2. And so now Supporter Pack 3 is this new evolution where we're adding a little bit more, something new and interesting. I'm sure you guys are reading and wondering what it might be.
Chat's wondering.
Yeah, so
what is this new Lorraine?
This is actually one of the the benefits of being a world champion from last year. We didn't publicly state it because we wanted to get it done first, and we didn't have a good time to release it until now. So Lorraine Ascendant Wings is a card that honors Glenn Williams' Worlds win from 2024. So we're calling it an Ascendant promo, and basically what it is Glenn won Worlds with Lorraine Merlin deck, and we asked him, which one would you rather have ascend to this level 4 card, and Glenn picked Lorraine. So because of that, we now have a Lorraine Ascendant Wings champion card. It's a mainly ceremonial card. It's not really meant to be like too meta relevant, but you could use it. You could dungeon guide into it and get extra life.
If you had 2024 cards in your hand.
You could win the game.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So it is a level 4 Lorraine with 4 memory cost and 32 life, and it has Lorraine lineage. It is norm, so keep that in mind. It has 2024 reserve cost. You can generate any amount of Sword Regalia cards and put them onto the field. And for the rest of the game, sword weapons you control can attack as though they were allies, but activate this ability only if Lorraine is an Ascendant. That up with the Yeah, so now you know what Apotheosis Rite means. It's actually functional. Okay, so how do you get this card? Non-foils will be box toppers in SP3. Not every box will have this specific topper. There are other box toppers in SP3. So non-foils can occasionally be found as box toppers for SP3, but we are also including one foil copy of Lorraine Ascendant Wings with every Champion Plus package at Ascent Worlds, just to basically, celebrate Glenn Williams at the next iteration of Worlds.
And also perhaps encourage people competing.
Yeah.
Maybe this could be you.
Yeah. Now, we also have a CR version of Lorraine, and this can be found in the SP3 booster packs. And it has a Glenny Boy signature on it. Just it's gonna look very
nice. So world champion.
All right.
I like how Glenn is saying this is amazing.
Yeah, Glenn totally definitely did not know why we asked for his signature. All right. Would you like to talk about what's coming next?
Yeah, if you take a look, some of you may have been asking, Belle, where'd you get that shirt? It's such a nice shirt. Where'd you get that? And you too can have this very nice shirt. Oh, this way. at Ascent Worlds, you can match with me. Yay! Yeah. But not only will we have this really awesome Merlin shirt, we'll also have all of your favorite champions. We have Tristan. This one's really, really cool with her shadow behind her. Very, very, very nice shirt. Oh. Very nice shirt. And then another one, we have Sylvie with her little slimes. They're so cute.
The Terror of 24.
So hopefully no one gets PTSD from the shirt, but it's very, very cute shirt. And then we have amazing Nico shirt for all the Nico fans out there. I know there are many of you out there. So Nico fans. And then last but not least, my son. We have CL with his very own shirt. So for all of you CL fans, we have the CL shirt as well. Hope you guys are looking forward to these shirts at Worlds. You can pick one up yourself at the merchandise store there.
Yep, and this is the first time we're trying out like a new design for a shirt specifically. So let us know how.
Yeah, let us know which one you're most excited for, which one you're gonna buy. We'd love to see which one you're planning on buying, or maybe it's all of them. But what else is gonna be at the merch store?
For our next product reveal, we actually have a little skit, so we'll play that first.
Huh?
And we have the Sylvie plushie!
I love that! Congratulations!
Thank you guys so much for... How many days total was it at the end? Can we check?
2 years.
2 years?
2 years in the mind.
Every single day for 2 years, folks on Discord have been asking, Sylvie plushie when? Sylvie plushie now!
Not
now. Soon. Okay, not now. You're right. Let's not get too excited. Soon. The wait is over.
Yep.
Debuting at Ascent Worlds, we have the ever so cute Sylvie plushie. I can't wait to get my hands on one. shake it violently.
Yeah, we'll go perfectly next to your Sylvie figurine.
True.
You want to show Sylvie in nature?
So peaceful.
Aw, so cute.
Right. Also, along with Sylvie plushie, Sylvie had a figure that we released.
She did.
Our second figure, Hongming.
Yay! Oh my gosh, she's adorable.
So Hongming will also be debuting with the Sylvie plushie at Worlds.
At the merchandise store.
Yep, and show her in nature.
Oh,
happened.
so cute. She looks great.
Right. Yep. And so along with Worlds itself and all the amazing merch, we also have guest artists attending. So we will have 8 different artists as well as their signature playmats and artist proofs. We'll have the Dragon Art Studio with 4 artists attending from there, with Sun Jiang, Conduit of Seasons, Jian Yu, and Planar Abyss. We'll also have Premiere Studio making their first appearance with the Searing Rebuke playmat, as well as Yul and Hanchu reprising their roles for Harness Lightning and General at Arms, and Fang as well with the ever beloved, ever controversial Birds of Thunder.
All right. Now let's talk a little bit about Path of Silver. So once every season, we do a Path of Silver at one of our big ascents. For Ascent Worlds, we've already shown this off, but the spirit that you can win for the Path of Silver main event is the Lost Spirit. And if you score in the top 8 of overall Dima, with the overall score, you'll get one of these. A new card we're showing off is the Seal of the Past Path of Silver prize card. Now, usually this would have been a
threshold reward.
A threshold reward. This is also going to be the Demo reward. That's still going to happen, and it's going to be CR. It has the color stamp of that Dema. But the way we are distributing the non-foil and the foil is very different compared to before. We wanted to solve the problem that people didn't have enough time to submit their collections if they were just only going for threshold rewards. So we are introducing a new system for getting some extra goodies with your Ascent experience.
How do you say?
So how it's going to work is every person that bought Ascent Worlds ticket will be added to Path of Silver. Now, you don't need to participate in the main Path of Silver event, but you will see a new menu that lists out a bunch of cards that you need to turn in. And if you do turn it in, you can get a bunch of various rewards, such as Sylvie tickets, acrylic keychains, the Seal of the Past non-foil PR card, Sylvie grading service ticket, Seal of the Past foil PR card, Seal of the Past playmat, and yeah. So there are sets that are easy. So the low tier ones, you only need to turn in 4 cards. Omnidex will tell you what card you need to turn in, and it is based on a count. So your 4 cards you turn in will not be the same as another person's 4 cards. Now,
when if I turn my cards in, am I giving them away forever, or do I get them back?
No. So when you turn your cards in, the people at the booth will stamp your cards with a Sylvie stamp, and if your cards are stamped, they cannot be submitted for this program again. And
however, they are legal to play.
Yeah, they're still legal to play
the
with.
cards still.
Yeah. So now the main difference is you can go to this booth at any time you have the cards, where there is lunchtime, you just finish a really fast game, you have 40 extra minutes. You don't have to wait until day 2, wait for an hour to get your collection checked. You can just find the cards you need to turn in at the correct time and then go to the booth.
What if my card list has cards that I didn't bring?
So there's also going to be a reroll feature. So say in Omnidex displays you like Dungeon Guide. For some reason you don't have Dungeon Guide to turn in. You can re-roll that card, and it could be something different that you may have. Or you can just trade around, because that's the whole point of Path of Silver. Encourage trading.
Now, will I see all of the tiers available for me, or will I only see one tier at a time?
You'll see all the tiers all at once. And you'll have a re-roll credit, and it's on a global cooldown. So you re-roll one set, you'll go on a cooldown until you can re-roll it.
Okay, so I can choose the set I want to re-roll rather than the entire list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the main event for the main people competing for the Priscilla prize card
will stay the exact same for Ascent Worlds. This is just a change to how we're doing the threshold rewards. We're no longer doing that. It's much better for UX, for the experience for us.
As well as our poor event staff that have had to prepare all of the tables for 2 main events in one day.
Woo, go event staff!
It takes a really long time to deck check everybody, so this will hopefully help streamline that process. And like Sildar said, you can come anytime. It can be day 1, day 2, whenever the booth is open. You can come and submit your cards, get your stamps, get your reward, and you're good to go. It'll really just take you hopefully it will be a really quick process for everybody.
And one thing to note though, redemptions are first come first serve. The things like the big things like
playmats.
The playmats. We're gonna bring a lot, obviously, but there's gonna
It's not an infinite supply. So if you are really hunting for those playmats, we really highly suggest you prioritize that accordingly, and hopefully you'll be able to get the prizes that you are hoping for in the list.
Of course, it's not a scarce item. I wouldn't.
No,
say
no,
that,
no.
It'll move out. Like we will only bring 20 of course.
Right.
There's no past events. We know just about how much we usually stock, just to make sure that we don't have too much or too little at any given time.
Yeah, we try to bring as much as possible, but we can only bring so many things. So if that is something you really care about, we do highly recommend that you prioritize that.
And remember, this is a free inclusion to your current Ascent ticket. People did not have to buy an additional Path of Silver ticket this time. So even if you didn't care about this at all, you can just don't need to turn anything in. You don't want to get your card stamped, that's fine. Just ignore this.
Yeah.
You're getting exactly what you paid for before, but now you have the extra option of getting even more out of it. All right, that's it for the Worlds announcements. Worlds tickets are selling out fast.
Yeah, so make sure if you were on the edge about attending, do pick up your ticket now. We aren't sure, and we can't guarantee that we can add more capacity like Akihabara. So if you do want to attend or you think about it, I would suggest you pick up your tickets now.
Yeah, especially the champion tickets, because now we're basically adding a new promo to that, the Lorraine level 4 foil card. So it might be sold out by now, actually. All right. Moving on, we have some extra announcements to close off the stream. I guess we're doing a Q&A, so it's not.
Yeah, it'll be some.
It will be some more time. First, we're announcing a Anime Expo promo. Now, if you didn't know, Anime Expo is actually 1 week after Worlds in basically the same city. For that event, we have a promo for Thunderclap. Yeah, it's cool.
It's very cute.
We hold an exclusive Anime Expo promo every year, so this will just be the promo with the Anime Expo stamp coming up for the event itself. More details on how you would pick up promo, but generally the non-foil is pretty accessible and the foil requires some interaction at the booth.
Next, for our Singapore friends, we have a new Genseisha promo for Enthralling Visage featuring Nico in Singapore at Marina Bay Sands.
So in honor of the popularity of Nico and the skill of all the players in Singapore that have piloted her to great results, as seen in the earlier slide, here's a celebration for Singapore. Has amazing growing community. I think the largest locals that GA has ever seen has been in Singapore with over 70 players.
Wow.
A lot of players have been one store. There'll be a lot of opportunities for this promo at events and locals in Singapore.
Yeah, it's a really good looking card too. It's like really cute.
All right, next we have a new type of promo. We're calling it the Creator promo. And this one's for Frostborn Paladin and CPR treatment. Now, do you want to explain?
Yeah, so if you remember Banner Night from year one, it was a promo for content creators and for people who are very engaged and involved with the Grand Archive community. And we wanted to say this is a way to reward kind of like all of the passion that had given into Grand Archive and the community without asking for any return. So we developed a Banner Night promotional card that we would send out to those content creators and or partners. And so in a very similar way, we wanted to bring that program back, tweak it a little bit and give it a new flair on it. And so Frostborn Paladin will be the first creator promotional card, and we'll start giving out to creators both who create content or otherwise engage with the community in various different ways that really promote Grand Archive, really focus on like creating more, create a stronger community, creating more content, etc., etc. Some more details on this program. We're just announcing the promotional card here. This will run for the next year, and we'll provide more detail on how the program works or how you would get this promotional card in that capacity.
Big thank you to all of our awesome content creators. Like really, I think we're so fortunate to have such a strong content creator base who really creates quality content, and it's just really incredible how strong that community has been, and there's just no words that can suffice. So hopefully a card will. Yeah. To thank you guys. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing everyone get their content creator promos.
Finally, we have the Ascent prize card spirit for Ascent Boston. Meow, the Spirit of Water. It's gonna be a top 8 prize card. Tickets are currently on sale. Looking for a new water spirit?
Mint doesn't do it for you, not Sabrina.
Meow.
Meow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tickets for Boston are live. There are a bit more tickets for Boston, but I wouldn't sleep on it too much. I'm sure the venue also has capacity issues. We're trying to explore if we can plan for a bigger venue just in case. The last couple cycles have scared us a little bit. But yes, please come see us at Boston. Again, the event is happening in August. I believe August 22nd and 23rd, or that weekend specific, earlier in the slide. So yeah, looking forward to see you guys there. Couple months after Worlds.
All right. One small announcement with Dawn of Ashes Altar Edition. It is our 2-year anniversary, and that means Dawn of Ashes Altar Edition has been printing for 2 years. So now Dawn of Ashes Altar Edition is completely out of print.
Now, before freaking out, I wouldn't say that it is out of print and out of circulation at distribution and stores. There are still multiple waves being produced and going out, and so we should see the restock hit shelves rather soon over the next coming months. This is just capping off the total print run that we are producing for this set. Boxes are being shipped globally. I think we are picking up new stores in Europe, in New Zealand, in Asia especially, and so don't worry, if Frostburn Paladin is still really expensive, more Dawn of Ashes will be into your hands. And hopefully as a U, it should come down quite a bit.
Yeah. And this 9,000 boxes is actually wave 4. There was actually a wave 3 earlier that we hadn't reported. There's 55,000 boxes in 4 waves that we Dawn of Ashes Altar.
Yes, indeed. More DCRs.
All right, and our next slide here is the new article that many have been asking and waiting for. We are going into DTR, which does not stand for Down the Rabbit Hole.
Yeah, we didn't really think.
We didn't think of that at all, which is actually kind of surprising because we probably should have.
Yeah, it matched out well. It was
it worked out totally fine, and that is actually going to be the title of CL1 Down the Rabbit Hole, which will be coming to you very soon. This is the lore cover art, and it's really awesome. I'm really happy with how it came out, so I hope you guys are looking forward to more lore very soon.
And that's it for the main presentation. Now we're gonna throw up the Q&A form for you guys to enter the giveaway for the 40 Lost in Thought mats. This is gonna be the same form. You just submit it with your Omni ID, but you don't have to put in a question. Any form submission regarding your Omni ID will count as a giveaway entry, but only once.
And it must include your Omni ID. That is required. Please enter that specific number if you would like to participate in this giveaway. We cannot roll you if you do not provide your Omnidex number.
And make sure your address on Omnidex is updated. Even if you're not participating, in general, it should be updated.
If you received your rank reward, then that does mean your address is working. Thank you so much. If you haven't, maybe want to look at that or contact support, and we'll get that cleared up for you.
All right.
Oh well, we just wait for questions to roll in, I guess.
We have any
we
yet?
can take 5 and come back to some questions.
Yeah. We just yap. They'll come through.
We can see. Do you have the questions up? Can you link us the questions, please?
Yeah, I guess one of the major questions that came up during Path of Silver was, I don't want my CSR or my rarely expensive card stamped. is that going to be like a requirement to participate?
Yeah, do not worry. It should be only rolling you lower rarity cards.
Yeah, I think the highest that it will roll you is like a foil rare.
Foil rare. And again, if you don't want that card stamp, you can always re-roll it into something else, and hopefully you'll get something that you are maybe less,
concerned
about. However, the stamp is very cute. I have been testing some stamps and they're very cute, so hopefully, maybe more than feeling like you're losing something, you can feel like maybe you're gaining a little extra cuteness to your cards.
The goal isn't to mark or destroy very expensive high rarity cards.
Right, absolutely not. Yeah, that's not our goal at all. And like Sil said, a big goal for Path of Silver is to really try to encourage trading. So hopefully you'll be able to find some cards that if you don't have them, maybe you can ask around, get some other cards that you need. And yeah.
Again, as always, Path of Silver in of itself has been an experimental format that we've tried out. This is an experimental change to that format. So of course, let us know your feedback as it occurs during the event. We may look to adjust or see how well that format has been received during this event.
And for those asking for your Omni ID, it should be your number.
Yes.
So it should be your Omni ID number. So the thing that comes after the hashtag or the sharp, whatever you would like to call it, it's not going to be the name. So, and any other questions off the top of your mind that you saw? I saw some people asking about the Sylvie grading service ticket.
Yeah, so as part of the Path of Silver event, that's how you can get the Sylvie to grade.
It'll be pretty cute. I think, if you didn't want to grade through BGS, this might be a nice way to treat your Sylvie stamped card.
Yes.
So I'm filtering questions. I'll send it.
All right, we got our very first question. We got a question from Jenna. How do you determine when cards are reprinted?
So card reprinting is about availability and also about like a product's shelf life and how it conflicts with other products. So cards like specific to like Dawn of Ashes, like Frostborn Paladin, that's a card that is very specific to Dawn of Ashes because if we had printed it in a different set, it would directly influence stores that are holding that product on their shelf. So cards are more likely to be printed if they're already out of print because they don't have a set that is in print with that card. That being said, Dawn of Ashes is going out of print very soon. It is out of print, it's just the logistics needs to catch up, and so after a while, you should see some more cards being reprinted, especially from DOA and FTC.
Another question we have, will Path of Silver Worlds be using MRC Alter and ALC Alter because scores for ALC CSRs are not on index? Asked by Luke.
Yes, they will be using both. We will get those in.
Yeah, those will be on index soon. They should be there before Worlds for sure.
Yeah, when is MRC Alter specifically going to go live on index?
1 week before release.
You can expect that probably right before Nationals for NA.
Any thoughts on adding limits or semi-limits to the ban list rather than just banning cards? Asked by Sano.
We are always open to that, but we don't think it's necessary for strategies that don't search their deck a lot or like they filter their deck a lot, because if you do that, then it just adds to more RNG play. But there are some very specific strategies that do have like a tutor, like a Luxera's map. It's a lot more reasonable for that type of strategy because you can just tutor the copy, and then now the limitation for that card is kind of like limiting its high roll potential by drawing multiple copies. So far, there hasn't been a strategy that we felt like needed that restriction.
You take this one.
What is the main inspiration of Distorted Reflection set? Asked by Blue Matrix. So I would say, if we talk a little bit about the process for which we pick the kind of themes, first off, we kind of look at in the design space what Sildar is looking for this next set. So it's what haven't we visited in a while, what classes, what elements are, you know, needing more love. That's kind of where we start. And then so I look at the scope with Roger, we look together at the scope and we go, okay, well, this seems like, you know, we had Astra, Umbra, I think those are our main ones that we were originally working with. And we were like, Umbra, like dark, and Astra's like...
It's like, what kind of setting really incorporates these elements?
Yeah.
Like, Umbra's like creepy, Astra's much more of like...
almost whimsical. Yeah, and so we kind of were thinking about different IPs that we could pull from, like public domain IPs that we could pull from. And one of the ones that we wanted to explore for a long time, or the team had wanted to explore from a long time ago, was fairy tales. And so originally we were going for like a more broad fairy tales scope, but I thought, oh, like, what if we just focus on Alice in Wonderland? Because I think Umbra, that I love whenever, you know, you see a lot of games do it where they take Alice in Wonderland and make it kind of like dark and creepy. Because it is such a, if you read the book, it is such a weird world.
Yeah.
That taking a lot of that dark inspiration in it and twisting some of the words that are in the original makes it really kind of scary and fun.
And we're like, Astra and Umbra serve like a really cool dichotomy between two types of playstyles where it's like, you know, very aspirational, very hopeful, and very kind of like underhanded, very, you know, worrying or fearful. And so that split between like Alice in Wonderland, like, oh, the looking glass kind of really encapsulates the flavor that we're trying to go for here. There are other aspects. We look at the worlds before and the worlds we want to do after, and we say, you know, we just came from Sangbo, a very heavily, you know, Eastern inspired set. Let's look at, you know, something else that maybe is a different flavor that people that didn't get in really into Sangbo as others did can now find something else that they can really latch onto.
For sure. I think
character-wise.
Right, like I think with Sangbo we had a large group of players who were really familiar, but we also had a large group of players who didn't really know anything about Three Kingdoms, and I think we really wanted to give something for those players that they could be excited about, and I think Alice in Wonderland's one of those like very classic.
Yeah, everyone knows the sayings, everyone sees the movies, or you've like read the books or some shade or other.
Yeah, so that's kind of, that's where we got the inspiration. Thanks for the question. From Raymond, we have our next question. Which champion element class do you think is the most underexplored by the players? I know one Poro's answer to this.
Yeah, what is that answer?
I would assume Poro's answer would be Neos Tony. Poro, if you're not familiar, is one of our team members, playtesters, who is a very big Tony fan and always advocates for more Tony playing. So, but I don't know, Sildar, do you have any particular answers to that question? Anything that you wish was more explored?
We can't give that too much.
Okay. So you guys can get the Poro answer instead. All right, next question is from Cole. What are plans for card price accessibility? The game is more expensive than ever, and it's hard to sell my friends on the game.
Well, actually, if you look at the market price in the States for Abyssal Heaven and DMB, they're actually very accessible.
Yeah, the challenge is just the older sets that we are, you know, trying to print more of and to get into circulation, and then for stores to open and to sell singles. I think the challenge is like the newer sets now are at a point where they are somewhat shelf stable. Singles are fairly accessible, at least from what we've seen in the US, what we've seen in like communities like Singapore. The challenge becomes also with like an indie game is if a scene picks up late, the earliest sets are the most accessible. Now, how do we get enough of the previous sets like Dawn of Ashes, like Alchemical Revolution, into circulation, into opening in such a quantity that it's more readily shelf available? And so that's what we've been working on the past year as far as production capabilities, logistics capabilities, that we should hopefully push out more to distributors and stores.
I mean, I do think part of what the problem that Roger's talking about is that there, to a certain degree, like more product has to be opened in order for it to enter circulation. And so part of the talk about silver and the way we're changing it is we're trying to encourage people to trade. We're trying to encourage people to collect. We're trying to encourage people, like give them reward for doing those things to hopefully then encourage the market to be a little bit more friendly for new players. If you have friends that you're trying to get into the game and they're meta gamers, we have the recollection sets, and I think those are really good starter product for people who are aware of TCGs already. It's not good starter product for people who don't know TCGs, but I would say that if your friends are already TCG players, you should probably try to sell them on the recollection products instead of trying to go for the singles angle or building the best deck first anyway. I think the recollection is a great way where you get a lot of good cards for a really good value, and there's not many other places where you can get that kind of value, I think.
Yeah, and of course, like with Dungeon Guide saw a reprint in Mortal Ambition that did quite a bit to help its accessibility. Other aspects like that we'll look forward to in future sets to see where we can slot reprints that may make the most sense as well.
The goal at the end of the long term is there's going to be a lot of alter sets that stores can just order small amounts from a distributor anytime they run out, and so they should be able to stock basically the first edition of the current set and then all the alter. That's a goal.
What are your personal decks? Let's start with you.
I play whatever Tin plays.
Because of Nico, water Nico.
Because I basically just when I travel, I basically hey, give me a deck. So he plays Nico and Fire Dao Chan and.
I am currently playing birds. I have a bird deck that I'm playing, and then before that I was playing a cat deck. I like the cute animal decks, so.
I think the last game I played was Fire CL. Spoil it. Unfortunately, I didn't have much time in my schedule, but that deck was a lot of fun.
It's fun.
Please look forward to that.
Yeah. Next question. For Silidar, what was your favorite champion to design from Derek?
Probably.
Hongming.
Yeah.
Spin to win.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And basically, we broke we needed a lot more text for this card, so we card type specific. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, from Duck, we have another question. I love the draft format. Are there plans for more sets to be draftable in the future?
We'll see. We're still collecting feedback on the draft format. The main concern with draft is how replayable it is. I think we were pretty confident when we launched draft that people would enjoy it at least the first couple of times. We'll have to see. When do you guys get bored of draft when it's the same format? We need to look at what are our efforts we need to put in to develop draft, and what are the logistical product changes we need to do to see if it's worth it. So if you guys get bored after 5 pods, then maybe not. So we're still collecting data on that.
Yeah, to give you more kind of the logistical answer of it, draft did require us to increase the amount of cards per pack to 15 to support the format, to make an additional accessory product along with it. And we still charged the same price for a box. Yeah. And it also involved us playtesting a different format and to spend design resources on that. We love draft, we love people pleasing engage with the game, but as an indie studio, there are limitations to the resourcing we can put per set and the amount of time it takes to develop a set. And so while I think a lot of people have responded well to draft, it's a matter of just where can we put the most of our resourcing to make the most sense for a company in its current state. As of right now, it's actually just how can we make as much product as possible for you to be put back into circulation, because the main format was the main accessibility challenge. Now we can look a bit and see what designs, what formats like draft, might be receptive, might be interesting for a future design.
The next question we have, for a group of content creators who have multiple members, how is the Frostborn Paladin Ambassador cards distributed from Mimiji? I believe this will all be explained later. Yeah, in a separate maybe article or something.
We'll put up an article over the website just discussing what the program is. A little bit different from the banner night. You'll provide a little bit more information and how the distribution.
All right, next question we have, with the recent news, will GA introduce a rotation from AK?
It's too soon to talk about that. We'll talk about it maybe 4th year anniversary. So no.
So no for the anytime in the near
doubling
future.
Our lifespan.
Yeah.
Effectively for us, we discussed this internally, and rotation is a format change that is necessary when you can have a format left over to rotate from. Like, it wouldn't make sense for us now to trim our first 4 sets because we're only on set 6. We're only going to set 7. There's a lot more runway for us to develop and look at specifically how the set archetype and the structure of the set is before committing to that. So I would expect no likely decision for another 2 to 3 years, and then a commitment for that would be then even further out.
Yeah, it's more about, I think it's really about like our strength in organized play. If we do a rotation, we would like all organized play support for the previous format to continue at full swing, and then we just double it basically for supporting a new like rotated format.
Yeah.
So it's like, how soon can we get
double
30 cents a year, right? So we'll see.
Please, no.
Oh God.
Yeah, we've seen, you know, a big spur in support from the Filipino crowd, especially with the first qualifier to Worlds. We are really looking at the Philippines in specific at a potential ascent location in the future. So just want to give you guys a shout. That was a question.
Yeah, shout out.
Really a question, but you know, we are.
Yeah, shout out to everybody who doesn't get an ascent. Hopefully, we'll make it to wherever you are soon.
Part of the 30.
All right, next one is, have you considered building an online simulator as an additional way to play? By Evan. Thank you for the question.
Short answer is just yes.
Long answer is what? It's more of a resourcing question,
yeah.
just like draft, right?
Yeah.
Given the team and the scale, you know, we would always love to have an additional way to play, ways for people to learn the game, ways for people to familiar themselves with mechanics. It's just more of a question of resourcing, investment of time and money, and what else we need to do to make sure the main game stays afloat.
I think a lot of people, I think we've done a very good job of making ourselves seem like a very big team. We've done a lot of things that big teams do. We've had a lot of accomplishments that big teams would accomplish. But I think sometimes people forget that we are a very, very small indie studio, with no joke intended. We're actually an indie studio, and we have a very few members, so a lot of our time goes into prioritizing the main game and the main things that keep us going, like ascents and whatnot. So it is really difficult for us to consider anything too far beyond that. And of course, we'd love to provide all of these things or do all these things, but it's just a matter of, do we have time for it? And is it something that at this current state we'd be willing to put a pause on, you know, whatever else that we're doing? And that's always a hard decision to make.
Toby asks, any potential for an expansion set to take place at the Grand Archive? Yes.
Short answer, yes. Long answer, when? All right, we have another question from Mark. Once DOA Alter print run is finished, is there any plan to do a re-release of certain essential cards like GCR, which I believe we kind of answered earlier, which is yes. Long answer is when?
Basically, we don't have a restriction on the functional card that we can print. There are certain aspects we said the art of URs from first edition will stay with that set. The CRs from first edition will stay with that set, but the functional card itself in a non-foil, unrare format can be printed multiple times.
Next question is from Daya. What advanced element design did you feel was the most difficult to polish? Is it one you plan on heavily reworking in the future? For Silodar.
Polish.
Oh, can you leave the question up a little longer? Thank you.
How do you feel about it from like a flavor standpoint? What is the most difficult advanced element to write or to like really encapsulate as far as like naming or flavor?
Crux. Crux is hard.
I think Exia is pretty difficult because it's very linear. It's just like the element of ink.
Yeah. Right. Ironically, writing for Exia is very easy.
The elements that are very direct, the ones that doesn't have like a bunch of branching thematics, are the harder ones to design.
Because you're just like, I get hit, I get stronger. You're like, there's only so many ways you can vary that or like give it a unique spin on.
Right, that makes sense. From Zorashine, will there be plans to do crossovers with other IPs in the future, similar to Magic the Gathering? Roger, question?
So there are multiple layers to this question, of course. And even with the statement of like similar to Magic the Gathering, is the question like, are we gonna have SpongeBob in Grand Archive? Or is the question like, will there be IPs integrated into like the Grand Archive universe? The shorter answer is we've done collaborations with, you know, characters, already Grand Archive characters, the champions are at an anime convention or at the real world. And so there's some pull back and forth with that blending of reality with the Gensei Chasset and the blending of Grand Archive champions. We've done collaborations that have been very successful with VTuber groups where we've pulled them into the universe, kind of blended that back and forth. And so the answer is it is a gray scale of like what is too much, what is cool versus what we'd want to do. And we're always open to the discussion, but it would have to be an IP that the team really enjoys, the team is passionate about, and that would fit well into a world of Grand Archive. Because as the lore is set up, as you know, they go into different worlds to rescue them, whether that world happens to be Earth, happens to be an original world of ourselves. Alice in Wonderland technically is an IP collaboration. It's just public domain. So what partnerships and what IPs we would then explore is something we'd carefully consider from like a lore and an art perspective. How do we can bring that into the fold of Grand Archive?
I think the big answer there too is sometimes, you know, we are approached with opportunities, but we feel like it doesn't suit the game or the player base or, you know, whatever those things are. And those are all things that we have to consider, that even if we have opportunities, maybe the timing is not right, maybe the, you know, it just doesn't really match the universe of Grand Archive, and we want to be really careful about which direction we take those things in. So.
Crimson asks, is there a consideration to print the main set in a different language? Always. However, the challenge is both cost and logistics. Again, we are a relatively small company. Printing in a different language requires spinning up basically a second SKU of that same language to manage, control, source paper for, and then deliver and print. There is, of course, potentially a point in where the demand for that second language is so strong it makes sense for us to push into that language. But at the moment, we aren't really heavily considering chasing after that in order to push the game in a region or area.
It's a lot of work to localize into a different language, and I think it's a lot more work than some people might know or really understand. Like, I come from a localization background, and I know just the amount of work that it takes. And also, like, you could go, like, we could just outsource the localization, but I think we care so much about the game that if we were to localize it, we would really want it to be done right and well. And we don't want to just half-ass it by just, you know, oh, just give it to some company and have them translate all the things. But another aspect of that is actually the card quality itself. As you guys may be familiar, if you've played other TCGs, card quality sometimes varies between the regions. And I think that we hold a lot of pride in our card quality and consistency. So I think it is just a lot more work than it seems on the surface to you know, localize.
And we've seen other games, even Magic the Gathering, Flesh and Blood, kind of pull back from some of the other languages that they had localized because the collector base, because the value, there is some trickiness with like opening a different language and expecting that the demand for that language isn't the same as English. So there's a lot of factors there we're kind of watching out for to see if and when it might be reasonable.
Yeah, it's definitely something we want to do, though. It's not something we don't want to do. It's just another matter of short answer, yes, we want to do it. Long answer, when can we do it?
Rex asks, will the old Omni rank rewards for competitive play listed early on in the graphics for Ascendant, Demigod, etc., such as buys, see resurgence in the future? And will we ever see a Pro Tour system implemented in the long term?
So, buys is more of a Omnidex limitation at the moment. We want to do it, but we have a lot of tech to work on.
Yes, when?
Yeah.
Yes, when?
I hear a theme.
As for a Pro Tour system, we kind of consider Pro Tour as basically Worlds, but it will be like a second World. So if we ever decide to do Worlds twice a year, basically one would be called Pro Tour instead, and one would be Worlds. So it's like, if we wanted to ever expand, oh, okay, Worlds every 6 months, we would basically do 6 months, maybe.
It's like MSI for League of Legends, and then Worlds in the next 6 months, rather than maybe two parallel but competing circuits.
All right, Michael asks, any new paths, main or big event types, coming to Ascent in the future?
Well, there's not really passes anymore because initially there was 2 ticket types, and that's why we actually like labeled the pass. Now it's just Path of Ascent, I guess. But you just buy 1 ticket, you can
Path of Puzzle.
You can do everything. I mean, people like the how we named it, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of miscellaneous events going on at Ascent, not just.
I think if you're asking, will there be other activities beyond just main event, side events, cosplay potentially, silver potentially? There's always something we're ruminating on. Of course, the challenge always is, what can we do? What we can do in the US may not be replicable in a different region. So how do we raise the standard of all GA ascents rather than just, you know, having one ascent be much more better or much more attractive than another ascent? So that's something that the events team, you know, having hit the bar across the board, is like, how do we make sure all of our partnered events are also meeting the same criteria, also have the same enthusiasm and activity as well?
And it's not technically a new one, but the Path of Silver, for example, we're still innovating on and changing. So we're always looking for ways to make ascents better and more interesting. So hopefully we'll have more cool stuff for you guys in the future. All right, next is not really a question. Oh, there is a little bit of a question. So we have from Teresa. So, hi, GA team. I noticed how consistently thoughtful and compassionate you've been towards the player community. Thank you so much for saying that. Always putting us first and giving back in meaningful ways. How can we, as players, better support you in return? Thank you for all that you do. What's the best way to support GA, you think?
Honestly, it's to show up at locals, play the game, talk with your store, do what you've already been doing, because we see the work, we see the passion you give us back in return, and it makes us so much, we're going to work so much harder on the product itself. Like we just talked about, and I think maybe it's something to keep in mind, is we are a very small team.
Yeah.
A lot of the comments reach us directly, both good, both bad, and so, you know, the motivation and strength from the community we see at events is what drives us to pursue this game and make sure it can grow and to be as accessible in many hands as possible.
Yeah, I think that's such a good statement that you mentioned, because I think in such a small team, sometimes you're like in the trenches, the working, and it's really just like the little comments. Like for me with lore, like I'll get the little dopamine rush of somebody mentioning lore or writing something in the Discord about lore. It doesn't happen very often, but whenever it does, it's like suddenly I feel inspired and suddenly I feel like I want to work harder, right? So I think there's just all these aspects to that, you know, you guys can always, it's free to write a nice comment. And sometimes you see more mean comments, so it's always nice whenever people write nice things. So anytime you guys encourage us, we really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the nice comment. Fadhil asks, are there plans for an FTC altar, or has that ship sailed?
There will not be FTC. If we feel like we need to reprint the cards, it will be reprinted in a different product.
Yeah, this was talked about during FTC. We said that when we launch that set, there will not be a reprint of the set. That's why it's not first edition. But again, we are looking at the cards in the set, especially as, you know, time comes. We'll just see and repeat them the best way possible.
Next question from Nathan is, will there be any new campaigns or initiatives to promote Grand Archive in Europe and attract new players?
Short answer, yes. Long answer,
when? True.
We are trialing a lot of new campaigns in like beta programs right now. We want to see, especially with the supply constraint and perhaps the accessibility Europe had, there was a challenge in where putting the cart before the horse of running new player programs led to the challenge of players being like, I don't know how to buy cards. Right. I like the game, I want to get in. Oh, but I have all these options. And so it's more of a timing challenge now that we have potentially a new distributor partner set up, new supply entering the region, a better grasp over how Europe itself functions. With the launch of DTR, we want to invest a lot more into learn to play programs, academy initiatives, as well as conventions and learn to plays theirs. I'm discussing right now specifically with Anti-Magic in October, or August, of course, with Spiel again in October. We'll look to reprise our roles there at conventions, where again, merchandise, accessories, and SP3 should be accessible as well.
We have another question from Jason asking, when more Tristan lore? Probably not for a while, to be honest. I know some people ask for older champion lore, and truly my priority as the one-man show right now is whatever is new. So as you guys saw, we announced CL1. That's because that's currently what's relevant. And so when Tristan becomes relevant again in terms of our printing, because ultimately lore to a certain degree is a couple things. It's IP growth and it's also marketing. So the more we can tie it in with as many things as possible, it's it's obviously easier for us as a company to produce these things. So probably whenever we see Tristan again. Lots of people ask when Rai love, and I'm assuming they're not talking about lore, they're talking about design. So
Why not both?
Oh, okay, or both.
My shirtless Rai.
Wow, that's a different question. Rai 2B that's a different question. But Sildar, any things you'd like to mention about Rai?
I mean, Rai's there. He got support last time.
True.
He did.
Like -2 months.
Oh no.
Rai did get support. Alexander asks, how do you determine what champions from the Grand Archive go to which worlds in the lore? So, how much should we talk about this? It is a little bit of a complex system.
Yeah, so if the machinations of the Grand Archive are relatively mysterious and omniscient and unintuitive to the layman. However, there are layers in which the Grand Archive chooses and selects who goes and how the political structures of the Grand Archive is functioned that then determine who actually goes.
Right.
And so there are 2 layers of like the Grand Archive itself being kind of like a hidden unknowing machine will be like, I think these 3 people make the most sense for mission B. Then the political structure of the gods and the surrounding courts will say, he doesn't deserve to go.
Right.
I think he might be more deserving because it's his time, because he did X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And so those 2 layers operate in parallel, but sometimes conflict. And so that's how lore-wise champions may get selected or unselected on certain missions.
Yeah, and if you're not too familiar, the Grand Archive is kind of this unfeeling entity that is kind of omniscient. It knows everything about everyone, but it has no empathy. So it doesn't pick based off of will or like whim or, like because it feels like this person deserves it. And that's why there's like a council to kind of help guide this unfeeling entity in which champions should be sent where.
How do you decide which champions get recollection decks from Corey? I'll turn it over to you.
We basically currently in the past we did. So basically the next time we do a supplemental set, we consider what might be the next class in rotation, or the next advanced element in rotation. And then we look into or basically delve into like all my previous ideas of like maybe cool champion designs and see if there's anything that can kickstart that champion. And then because usually Recollection as a product has because of how it's made, has a lot more room for complicated designs. So usually the simpler champions will be starter decks, and like more complicated designs will be Recollection. Basically
Yeah, then we look at, of course, who are fan favorites that haven't been shown up in a while, who maybe needs some more love, who fits the archetype that worked out in the situation. Like, for instance, we had Mage and Warrior, and then going into HVN, we had a slot with, like, Tamer. Oh, we haven't seen it in a while because we had Assassin and...
Yeah.
Well, we had Tamer right before.
We actually had 2 Tamer Recollection decks, and that's actually probably pretty normal because the Tamer design space is a bit more
insular.
Yeah, insular, so that it's a lot better to do it as a Recollection deck than a starter deck.
Yeah, so for instance, whatever cards printed into Guojiao Recollection really aren't going to impact how, slimes work or like power creep in that aspect.
A lot of people ask, are Mordred and Alan getting level 3s at some point or any love?
Can't share that yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is another yes, but when. Like, I think there's a lot of champions that we want to revisit or, we know that people want to see again, but it's just maybe, who knows when that'll happen.
I think that this in part did impact how many champions we design and introduce in the game, where early on, lineage break champions were there just to like help polish draft or help insert into that experience. We're not necessarily main characters, but we saw how when people got attached to certain champions, especially like Mordred, like Alan, like champions like those, and we're, we need to be a little more thoughtful in how we introduce champions, like, Vanitas, like Polkok,
Right.
like Nico, and then they developed more in the alter sets there. And then you saw in AMB and HVN, we didn't have like a middle tier of lineage break champions. We fully
Right.
developed those 4 characters on their own, and so this is just more feedback and thought process as far as like design, lore, and story building goes. We want to make characters that people can invest into.
Right.
We don't want to just turn characters out and have them tossed aside, and so we really focus the narrow scope on like, we're going to reduce the amount of characters we put out, but we want to make sure we treat them with love and care and develop their stories.
We're kind of working backwards and fixing our mistake with Dawn of Ashes, where we released so many characters at once, and like rebuilding like the character like Tristan. When we designed Dawn of Ashes, we did not know she was gonna be in set 4, right? So,
Right.
it was mainly because of the draft format, but because the fans really liked all the lineage break champions is the reason why we go back and explore.
Let me take this one.
All right, next question is from Lamb. For Silver, are there no changes to how Thema or top 8 works? Sounds only threshold changes, it sounds like.
There are small changes, such as
your guesses will
the guesses will not you cannot guess after a certain point, so there will be like a sleeping time. So
Betty time.
So Path to Silver main event will work, even though it's the same core rules, it will work very differently because every single person at the event should have guesses, not just like 100 people that signed up for the event. So you could technically go around and ask, hey, can you guess this for me? Yeah, we are gonna increase the cooldowns because that's possible, but we're also making it so that there is a time where guesses can no longer be made. It's probably starting at like 10 or 11 p.m.
Yeah, get some sleep. From Caleb asks, is there a chance in the near future that banned cards will be brought back into the game?
Yeah.
Always. Always. I don't.
Yes, but when?
Yes, but when?
Scrub the near from the question if
Right.
we aren't sure what time frame you're expecting, but it's just a matter of how a card performs in the meta. Banned cards aren't gone forever. There may be a point in where they're fine to bring back into the format.
I think a lot of people don't realize how, like, I feel internally, you know, I'm obviously kind of removed from it, but I watch the team and they are very, very careful to ban cards. Like, there's a lot of discussion that happens before it happens, and there's a lot of back and forth, and it's something that they're, like, the team really tries not to do as much as possible. So I think that, you know, anytime if we feel that it is a safe place to reintroduce the card back into the game, I think we would love to do that. Hedgehog asks, since Anime Expo is exclusively in one area, is there going to be a possibility that this will extend to events such as Animanga or in Australia or other areas? I'm assuming they're asking about PR cards?
So, to answer, the specific AX promo is exclusive to that for AX event. We are looking to see what other capabilities we can expand into other events. I am discussing with Animaga, we're looking at Smash Sydney, we're looking at quite a few events across globally, as long as we have the partner willing to enable us there. So you could expect SP3 at a lot of these events that we do booth at and attend at. You know, TableCon in Singapore may be an example as well. And so we are taking the active measures to make sure we can provide the same level of experience, ideally elsewhere in the world.
It's a spoiler, but we're trying to get promo cards for other events as well. So hopefully we'll have some special stuff for everybody at other cons as well. Caleb asks, how does the team pick the theme of the coming sets? I guess that we kind of answered that earlier a bit.
I think it was more about like talking about Distorted Reflections is more of a microcosm of how we picked that specific set. I think really it comes from like, what are we internally passionate about? What it's like, I really want to work on this idea. Or like, I think maybe Sildar will come like, I think this champion design is really cool. I want to put this in the next set. And so depending on whether it's a design first or like a background world first, we'll decide and see what world fits that thematic. What setting, what characters, what kind of mood we're trying to evoke. There's a lot of discussion. It's very fluid. I wouldn't say there's like a very set process in how we do it. I mean, we've only done it 4 times now. And so always learning, always expanding. At this point, we're at the point where we have
cool world ideas that we're just gonna slot into the goodie bag for eventually when they work, we'll pull them out and like help flesh them out.
Yeah, we had a really fun like brainstorming session with the team where we were just like, if you could have any, world idea, if you could have any kind of champion, like what would it be? And we would just ask everybody around the table, and we got a bunch of cool ideas. So like Roger said, now we're throwing them into a pool and we're just picking from those that seem to fit. And then obviously Silidar has some crazy ideas sometimes, and he'll be like, I kind of want to do a champion that's like this. And then we'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, how can we make that work thematically in a set? And that's kind of what we work around sometimes too.
Exactly. Final question for the night. Ray asks, what are your personal favorite card arts? Arts, so it's multiple. We can choose. Be constricted and restrained.
I think.
Should we just pull it in next?
Shinja,
But I get spoiler cards.
Shinja kind of asked earlier similar, and so my answer was Soothing Disillusion. And I really love that art too. I feel like the art is so evocative of like almost the full set. Like it's like if I had to pick one art that I felt like lore-wise that encompassed all of Sangwo, like that would be my art. And it's so beautiful, and there's just like I could just stare at the art forever. I also just really love like everything about that card. It's one of my favorite cards in general.
Yeah, I think Incarnate Majesty, because so much of that story beat of like Lorraine or Merlin or the anger or the like resentment and the spirit itself kind of emerging, the action of that and how it impacted the world, which will eventually get developed story later
Someday.
sometime. Was especially evocative.
Yeah.
I really love that art.
It's a good art.
I would say for now, Diao Chan level 3. Just because of how good the CSR turned out. And,
Yeah.
Basically, like the art was made to become a card.
Yeah.
And like.
I remember they gave me the design file. They're like, "Can we do this?" It was like
how big can the stand be?
That entire set was just like it has to be double faced. Oh, both sides have to be CR. I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think that also just shows how much they like, love working on it, and they had that creative vision, and I think that really shines through in the art too. So
Yeah, I think the coolest idea is yet to be seen. It is something we want to do, and we're like limit testing what the art can do, what the production can do, how we can design it in a way that really invokes what is special about card games and art. But we're not quite there yet to talk about too much. So hopefully, as more free time, we'll find that out.
it. Yeah. But yeah, that is I think that's wrapping up our second anniversary stream.
When will we announce the winners for the giveaway?
I think afterwards we have all of your Omni IDs. We will shoot you an email and we'll post on Twitter announcing everyone that won.
Yeah.
So please stay tuned for that. If you haven't filled out the questions yet, we're not answering anymore, but please, for your giveaway chance, please sneak it in.
We'll turn off the form in like
probably 5 minutes.
Like midnight or something.
Yeah, midnight around.
Are you gonna remember to do that?
Well, it might be around midnight, so
Okay.
not midnight exactly.
The longer
but
I don't close it, the
more
chances
people.
they got.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. We hit over 1,000 viewers today. That's an incredible record. It's really awesome to think that the game has come so far. I've only been here a year, but it's a little over a year now. I know. It feels like I've been here forever, but also like it's been awesome to watch the community grow. It's been awesome to watch the game grow and just kind of really flourish. And yeah. Yay.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thanks to you guys that we are still here. So we really appreciate your support and your love throughout all the 2 years. So thank you guys.
Yeah, to many more.
Yeah, to many more. Bye bye.
しなく広がる空に失ったものを嘆く声